and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Molly Osborne.
And I'm Bobby Tribbett.
And today we're talking about 1990s Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College.
Open now the porcelain vessel.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the tea. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I said it, hooker.
I don't know. Spooky ain't got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed.
It's prank week at Glazier College. And the frat boys are out for blood.
You won't get away with those foolish pranks this year.
But what these party animals don't realize
I now command you to appear.
is they've got 3 new pledges from hell.
Let's take a tour around, schmucks.
Now, the Ghoulies are about to learn what higher education is all about. Brewskis,
I'll just take one.
babes,
So, what's your major?
and partying hardy.
They drink our brews.
This is war.
Look, there's been a murder on campus.
Sorry, operator. Prank week.
They may flunk out on manners, but they get an A in Mayhem. Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. They put the animal back in the house.
Wow, you said that with as much gusto and conviction as Kevin McCarthy.
I
in this
feel like
movie.
Kevin McCarthy right now.
Guys, we're here watching Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College for summer sequel month. Now, this is a pick that I've wanted to do for a long time, not because I've ever seen this movie, not because I care about the Ghoulies franchise. In fact, this is the first time I've ever seen it, which, by the way, Molly and I now own Ghoulies 3 on Amazon because
right.
for some reason, the price to buy it is the same as to rent it.
Yeah, it was exactly the same, so might as well.
And you said, just buy it. And
Yeah.
I was still hesitant, like, are we sure?
Now's a good time for me to mention that you can watch it for free on Vudu.
Oh, well.
Well, you know, I got the nice
$4
you know,
well spent, guys.
Look, we got the nice standard def Amazon stream. Fantastic audio and video quality
the
for
most
a movie.
pixelated blacks I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, why did I pick this movie? Just because, like,
Yeah, like
look,
we usually do for our guests, Mike. Explain yourself.
Look, we've never done a Ghoulies movie. I don't think anybody has, because I don't really think anybody's ever seen this franchise. I think it just kind
no
of
one's
exists.
ever actually watched a Ghoulies movie.
No, I think it's like you always see it on the shelf at the video store. You're like, coming out of a toilet or something. Who knows what that is, right?
Little green guy in a toilet. That's great.
Like, I feel like Ghoulies...
And then you rent the video next to it.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like Ghoulies was kind of like, because it's so close to Gremlins, is that people would get confused and maybe rent Ghoulies instead of Gremlins.
Also Goonies.
Yeah, and Goonies. Yeah, because it's all those. They're like, I think I've heard of this one. Isn't that one with those little monsters? And then they rent it and they're like, oh, it's not good.
Well, it's interesting. It's almost a genre to itself. Is the Gremlins knockoff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it goes like Gremlins, Critters, Ghoulies, Hobgoblins, right?
But Critters was worse because they didn't pick a name close enough to Gremlins. See, Ghoulies had it right. Go right next to Gremlins.
It's the Mr. Pibb.
It is, yeah.
And you know, to their credit, you know, if it's a properly alphabetized horror section, you're gonna get to Ghoulies before you get to Gremlins.
That's true.
Exactly. And so a lot of parents are probably like, what? My kid wanted to rent that, whatever it was. It was those little things. And so they rent Ghoulies instead, not realizing it's like, you know, got a bunch of boobs in it. So the kid's happy. I mean, the little kid whose parents bringing home their VHS for the night is like, oh, well, I'll watch this one. Thanks, Dad. They stick it in. They know they're not seeing Gremlins. They don't care. So maybe there is like a whole generation of young children that grew up idolizing this franchise for that reason, but not me.
Definitely not you.
No.
I'm certain I rented a couple Ghoulies movies when I was a kid. I have no recollection of them, which means that they must have been great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely never seen one before this.
But
But
apparently,
this won't be my last.
please stop.
Oh. Little spoiler for the end of the episode.
In this house, it will be. Even though we own
You're going to
Ghoulies
find
3.
me out in the car watching Ghoulies.
Do you think I can return Ghoulies 3? Like, could I return it to
listeners,
Amazon?
we should go. Mike and Molly need to discuss a few things.
I'm wondering if I could write them an email and go like, I bought this on accident and watched the whole movie. Could I still return it?
Yeah,
the
it's
old,
like returning
the
an
In-N-Out
empty
policy.
pizza box.
You know, In and
This
Out,
was
if you just
bad.
have one bite of your burger left, you could still get a new one.
Fucking assholes.
It's
People
insane.
that do that is just, we know that's a whole nother podcast. But Ghoulies.
When we start a fast food podcast.
So why did I pick this movie? Because we
Yeah,
haven't done a
it's your
frat
problem.
movie in forever. And the title of this movie is so fucking ridiculous. Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. I never want to see a Ghoulies. I certainly don't want to see them in college. So what better movie to pick for the Grindbin?
And we have a tradition now with Summer Sequel Month that at least one of those summer sequels are going to be some wacky choice. Some weird, sequel to something we've never covered.
Yeah. A sequel to a movie that nobody's ever seen the first two of. Ghoulies 3. Now, there is a 4. Now, I mistakenly thought that Ghoulies 4 was Ghoulies Go to College because I said to you guys, how the hell do you follow up Ghoulies Go to College? That's the end of a franchise. Like, once you get there, that's it. You're done. That's the little Chrissy. That's whatever it is to end a show, end a
Scrappy-Doo.
franchise.
Yeah.
it's
You
like
either
Scrappy-Doo.
go to space or college.
Yep.
Right.
And that's how you end a franchise.
So I told you, Bobby, to watch Ghoulies 4.
Yeah, you
and-
just said we're doing Ghoulies 4, and I got about a third of the way into it, and I was like, Mike, we're not going to college. Like, no one has gone to college. Are you sure this is the one?
I didn't even look up IMDb. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Now, what's interesting about Ghoulies 4 is, I'll give a brief little explanation on what the fuck a Ghoulie is. A Ghoulie is a little demonic imp. These little, gremlin knockoffs, and they've been depicted as puppets for the majority of the franchise. By Ghoulies 4, for some reason, the Ghoulies are no longer puppets, but they've actually cast two little people.
I will watch anything with little people.
And they've put them in little goblin costumes, and they teleport from hell to Los Angeles. And run amok, I assume. I haven't finished this movie yet. I know part 4 has
Mike,
the...
why don't you want to watch this?
Oh, I'll watch it.
Okay.
It's fine. Next summer sequel month, if
Oh,
this
it's
show
coming.
lasts another year, well,
It is coming. I love that it's always if this show makes it that far.
you got to preface that.
Yeah.
It could end at any moment.
We're touching.
everybody.
It could end halfway through an episode.
Yeah, this episode.
It might.
But Ghoulies 4 is it brings back the protagonist from the first Ghoulies.
Who nobody knew. Like, nobody knows this. Nobody
Not
would
a
know.
soul.
No.
Because no one saw any of the Ghoulies
No.
movies.
So you
But-
doing that, they're like, he's back. And everybody would be like, I don't know.
Do you think anybody stood up and cheered?
Maybe
Well, it
Wynorski.
was straight to video, so
yeah.
it was
Stood up and cheered in their
on their
den?
couch.
Maybe Jim Wynorski, who's notorious now for destroying franchises.
Yeah.
Because Ghoulies 4 is where it ended, right?
You bring in Jim Wynorski and it's all over.
Yeah, Swamp Thing, done.
Never was a third
Ghoulies,
one.
Done. Can you get him on another like what other franchise? Oh man,
What do
if
we
he-
need to send Jim Wynorski to?
If he only did a Saw, then we could have just been
Jim
done with it.
Wynorski's Saw would be amazing. But yeah, the original protagonist comes back and is suddenly a Los Angeles police detective, who's, if I understand correctly, his ex-girlfriend summons the Ghoulies in a satanic ritual.
So I haven't seen the original, so is he also a little person?
No,
Oh,
That would be interesting.
I'm less interested.
A little person fighting Ghoulies.
that's why they were puppets in the first one.
Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about part 4.
Okay, are we?
We're here to talk
Go
about
ahead
part
and
3.
start going through part 4. We'll go ahead and listen. So what happens in the first scene?
Okay, so we open in a warehouse.
Of course. You know what? We're done. I already knew it right away. If
Because
you
it's
said,
Jim Wynorski?
We open in a warehouse. Okay. You already laid out the worst things you could do. LA cop, cheap.
Yeah.
Warehouse, cheaper.
Yeah.
It's over.
And some lady in like a rubber suit, not
Uh-huh.
monster suit,
Are
but
there
more like
gangsters?
S&M. I don't know. I don't think
Oh,
so. We do
okay,
have a
'cause that would-
convenience store robbery.
Of course. Of course.
It's just it's fill in your bingo card for like a cheap ass early 90s straight to video movies.
Stay tuned for next year as we cover Ghoulies 4, Ghoulies Become Little People.
If
Is there
any of us
anyone
make it
running
that far.
something counterfeit?
I believe so. We have counterfeit Ghoulies.
Yeah.
Because they don't look or act like the Ghoulies. Speaking of not looking or acting like the Ghoulies in this movie are different from the Ghoulies in the first two films.
Why? Who cares? Like, they can't bring back the puppets? Like, nobody
No,
cares.
the puppets are similar, but the difference though is this is the first one in the series where the Ghoulies talk.
Oh,
What?
really?
In the first two, they just make sounds. They're just little.
That sounds much better.
Wait a second. So this is the first Ghoulies where they're cracking jokes.
Yeah, when the Ghoulies got to college, they suddenly had all kinds of shit to
Because
say.
they're educated now.
Now they have
Holy
opinions.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to
shit.
college and suddenly you start getting hard takes
Yeah,
on
they're
everything.
intellectuals.
So you're telling me that in all the other Ghoulies movies, there was never a line
All
where
two.
one of the Ghoulies had a boner and he said it
Yeah.
to the audience?
No.
Well, he does in this one.
There's no Ghoulie being like, I got half a chub.
Yeah. I really didn't like Ghoulies getting horny.
Yeah, no, that was...
We do not need a horny Ghoulie.
Yikes. But we get a lot of them.
We do.
This is the horniest Ghoulies movie of the whole franchise.
Yeah.
So, guys, would you believe it that the one piece of trivia for this movie, other than some cast members, is that it was originally intended for a theatrical release?
Well, isn't every movie?
Yeah, I
At
was
some
like-
point,
Yeah.
Isn't when somebody gives birth to a movie, they're just like, oh, my precious little angel's gonna go to the theater.
You
Yeah.
see my Ghoulie on the silver screen.
I was like, wishful thinking for sure.
See that half chub on the silver screen.
Because this annoys me to no end is bad stock music in
What?
direct
You
to
didn't
video
like that
movies.
xylophone?
I don't know what it is actually. You can say it's a xylophone. It's like
guess.
some sort of like Casio keyboard with like the horn function where it goes like wah, wah, whenever something happens.
Yeah.
Why do they put that in direct to video movies? It makes it sound worse. Just keep it fucking quiet. Like in my point, I'm like, just take the music out.
It definitely
be better.
made it goofier than.
But in the
Like-
worst way. I'm not a fan of that type of music. And when I see
Mike
it,
hates the xylophone.
I do. Well, whatever it's called, the cheapa zone. Whenever they whenever they have that shit,
where the
in a
Ghoulies are
movie-
from.
Yeah, I think so. Whenever they have that in a movie, though, you know immediately it's a pile of garbage. Like you hear that in the first second of Demon Cop, whatever we do that's direct to video, it's like, okay, this is what we're dealing with. They couldn't hire an orchestra, so we got this. They couldn't even buy a fucking tape with better music on it. They just went for...
See, at least Ghoulies 4, because of Jim Wynorski, has Chuck Sereno on the soundtrack
Yeah, but
of
this...
Mob Boss and Return of the Swamp
Yeah,
Thing.
which is still, keyboard work, but it's good keyboard
but his
work.
synth
This
work is really good.
Oh,
I don't know what happened here. This was Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. At
No.
the sound department.
yeah, just press some
ahead, honey.
keys, honey. You're doing fine.
Just jump around like a Ghoulie.
Yeah, look, it's a Ghoulie. Play him a song. That's
What do you
great.
think a Ghoulie's music sounds like? Bing bong, bing bong.
So the director of this movie is John Carl Buechler.
Buechler.
Well, it said on his trivia page that it's pronounced Buechler.
Okay. Well,
So I'll take that because I know you were ready to go nailed it on me, but I looked it up.
Oh,
I looked
shit.
it up this time.
you actually did nail it this
Yes,
time.
I did. And he used to run the makeups effect department for New World Pictures, Roger Corman's company.
Mm-hmm.
He did not do Galaxy of Terror, which is a
No,
sad
he
one.
did not. But I think he worked on something we've covered before.
Okay, well, we'll get to it. I have a couple written down. Bobby, some of these credits, man, big stuff.
Yeah.
He has 66 credits for special effects, including Friday the 13th 7, which is one of our favorites.
I love that one
Yeah.
so much.
Ginger Dead Man, which
Oh.
is Gary Busey is a killer gingerbread man. Carnosaur, it's a Roger Corman classic.
Amazing.
Demonic Toys, which is that franchise again nobody fucking cares about.
Knockoff Puppet Master.
At some point, they just combined the two, and they're like, now it's Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. And everybody's like, there was another one that was a puppet one? Bride of Reanimator, Halloween 4,
Yeah.
which I was like, holy shit. Nightmare 4, which, Bobby, go ahead.
What do you want
Get
me
it
to say?
out.
Yeah, it's okay.
Nightmare
I'll-
4 is like revered, isn't it? Like as one of the good ones?
No, Nightmare 4 is the start of the slide.
I don't know, because I don't
Nightmare
care.
3
No.
Dream Warriors is considered the last good one. And then Nightmare 4 is when shit starts getting goofy.
Oh,
That's when he's
well,
coming up out of a waterbed.
Yeah. they got the guy from Ghoulies 3 to do it. It's great.
And by the way, we're gonna go ahead and dog ear the girl coming out of the waterbed in Nightmare 4.
Oh, yeah, we will. Garbage Pail Kids movie, he did all of them.
Nice.
So they look a lot like the Ghoulies.
It feels
do.
pretty shared universe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then, guys, he's a Grindbin all-star.
My God.
Because he did the effects on TerrorVision.
That's the one.
Yes, you can hear that episode all the way back in episode 50-something.
Yeah, that's an early one.
Yeah, he did the special effects for TerrorVision. He has 19 directing credits, though, including Troll 1, not Troll 2, Troll 1. Friday 7, he directed that movie, which
did.
I was like, holy shit.
And that one's kind of famous for, it was going to be probably the goriest one. He had all these great spots, and the MPAA made him cut out all the gore.
Oh.
And this is the big tragedy of it all is in this day and age where you can add stuff back in and whatnot. We're never going to get an unrated cut of that because all that footage has been destroyed.
Oh.
Not knowing that one day there'd be Blu-rays and whatnot and fans who would want to see all that stuff.
Big question. Do you think he shoved it down the Ghoulies toilet?
I think he may have sent it to the Ghoulie dimension.
Well, if we just go there, maybe we'll find the hidden cut of Friday 7, which is probably one of my favorites because you add in telekinesis powers to the Friday the 13th universe, and for me, I'm jacked like hell.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm ready
and
to
the
go.
path that it led to, because the idea was supposed to be that was going to be Freddy versus Jason. And they're like, we can't get Freddy.
So
like,
we'll get,
fuck. Can we get Carrie? We can't get Carrie. No. Well, we're going to make our own Carrie.
We'll get the girl from House 2. Lar Park Lincoln. And then, that was another thing, too, is like Friday the 13th. When they went to space for Jason X, everybody's like, oh, they've already jumped it. I'm like, you have not watched a Friday movie at all. Because this actually space is the logical next step.
And there's truly nothing to ruin.
No, absolutely nothing.
Like, you fucked it up. No, we did.
Yeah, it's garbage anyways.
Yeah,
like,
it's Jason who's walking around. And I love those movies, but yeah, they're trash.
Now, here's some sad news, is that unfortunately the director of this movie, John Carl Buechler, he passed away in March of this year.
Oh, wow.
He did. It was very sad.
He was only 66, and he had like a whole bunch of stuff that he was working on. And unfortunately,
that's too bad.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of sad. But this one's to you, John. Thank you for Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. Like,
thank you for putting our Ghoulies through college.
I did like those puppets.
No, I mean, the puppets are good, and like, he certainly was having a good time making this movie. A lot of people were, which is surprising, but what are you giving? Now here it is, the one writer of this movie. The other people are just credited as...
Someone wrote this movie?
Okay, there's 3 credited.
It was a Ghoulie, yeah.
It might be, actually, because his name is Brent Olson. It's his only credit.
It was a Ghoulie.
Yeah, it was a Ghoulie. The other two...
that was the scaly Ghoulie with the pointed teeth.
Yeah. The other 2 people are just credited for the characters of Ghoulies, but, they don't need to be on this show. Like, we don't need to recognize the Ghoulies universe.
Created by is not...
No.
No. So we get into the cast. We're going to start with Evan McKenzie, who plays Skip Carter. Molly and I called him not Coulier because he looks like Dave Coulier. So.
Oh, yeah. He did have a he did have a Coulier flow to him.
He did.
He really did. It's like, you ever want to see Dave Coulier in a frat comedy? Everybody's screaming, no. Then don't turn on Ghoulies 3.
I feel like Dave Coulier's entire career, he was in a frat comedy. And whether the rest of the people in the show he was on were or not.
That's a good description
He's
of him,
walking around
actually.
with a puppet. Like, hey, everybody. Like, no, dude, that's not... We're not fighting the Ghoulies this time.
So this was his first role of note, really. This was it. His big star turn.
Did
Ghoulies
he get
3.
any bigger?
No.
He
was in 1991's Children of the Night. So that's a movie. Now here's one, though, I wrote down the description of, because it's very bizarre how somebody wrote this on IMDb. 1994's Dancing with Danger. A Portland taxi dancer...
What? Okay.
A Portland taxi dancer, which is a term used for a dance hall employee whose job is to dance with patrons, is a suspect in a series of murders involving her former customers. But I was like, Portland taxi dancer? Is that just like a Portland specific thing, or like...
I've never heard of that before. So someone that's paid to just dance with other people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's the thing. And then there's murders that happen.
And then there's murders.
Dancing with Danger, 1994. And then in 1995, guys, he was in Scanner Cop 2, which nobody knew there was a 1-2 except for Bobby.
Oh, I knew.
A demonic, quote, scanner terrorizes Los Angeles, and the only person who can stop him may not have the neurons for the job.
Is a scanner like Scanners?
Yeah, it's like Scanners 4 is Scanner Cop,
Okay.
Wow.
where the budget got cut, and so now we're a fucking LA detective.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we're-
in a warehouse.
And we're hanging out in a warehouse. We're
Yep.
stopping convenience store robberies with our scanner powers.
Because the cheapest costume to get is cop.
Yeah.
The cheapest
Yeah.
one.
And especially if it's a detective, because it's just
Yeah.
like you get a tie and a
Plainclothes.
trench coat,
Yeah.
plainclothes cop is just gonna go stare intensely at bad guys
Yeah.
until we cut away, cut back, they're bleeding,
Yeah.
cut away, cut back, they're dead.
He never has to even show a badge. Sometimes never even has to show a gun. Like you just, yeah.
It's not in the budget anyway.
He doesn't need a gun. He's a scanner cop.
Exactly. And, oh man.
Yeah,
Now
the
I'm kinda
cheapest effect
interested
is
in
brain
this.
power.
That's true. That's true. He's like, you know what? Get all the guns, everything. Yeah. He just used his mind. Are we going to have like a head explosion? No.
I feel like that's what franchises do before we go to space.
Yeah.
It's like somebody ends up a cop.
Cop
Yeah,
episode.
like Matrix cop.
So then we have Kevin McCarthy. Grindbin All-Star. Guys, you can hear all about Kevin McCarthy all the way back in like episode 20 of the show where we covered My Tutor, where he plays the dad of Matt Latanzi. In My Tutor, the Crown International Classic, Kevin McCarthy, longtime character actor with over 200 credits and an Oscar nomination.
Absolutely. This is sort of a Ben Kingsley situation in that he's a respected actor who's done some very good work, but also seems to take literally anything that ends up on his desk.
But I have to say that McCarthy was enjoying the hell out of being in this movie.
Imagine though if it had been Kevin McAllister.
Those Ghoulies would never have gotten out of
They
first.
never would have. Yeah,
Yeah.
they would have met their match.
You know,
They'd
that's
come
a
up out of the toilet, get hit with a
crossover.
paint bucket.
That is a crossover you could do. Ghoulies meet Home Alone. All right. Kevin's home alone. He gets a comic in the mail.
Yeah.
He starts reading about it. Uh-oh. Next thing you know, the Ghoulies are coming out of the John.
Buzz, your girlfriend.
Oh, definitely. You don't think there's any part where one of them dressed up like a girl? A la Gremlins 2? I think so. I don't know. Oh, Bobby's shaking his head yes, like that happens in Ghoulies 4. If it's Wynorski, I'm sure it does, and I'm sure it has big boobs.
Oh, yeah. That poor little person actor.
So, yeah, did you have anything else to add for Kevin McCarthy? He's a legend.
I mean, nothing that hasn't been mentioned before. Obviously, he's most known for Invasion of the Body Snatchers and the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They brought him out for that.
Isn't that great? He shows up in both.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's a cool idea to bring him
I
back.
think people probably get him confused with Judge Schmales in Caddyshack because he is very similar in his delivery, and
Yeah.
he's always perfect as the angry dean or the angry rich guy.
he just has a great face and a great delivery for that kind of, him screaming at frat boys is what you want.
He has the right amount of starch.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But I do think it was fun.
Legendary starchman.
I
Kevin
do think
McCarthy.
it was nice to see how much fun he was having. Like
He was
brought
definitely
me-
having a blast. It's like watching late Lloyd Bridges.
Yeah, I mean, it brought
Where
me
he's just
enjoyment. Like this movie is garbage, but every time he's on the screen, I'm like, Kevin's having fun though. Like he's having a good time.
I can't be mad at this. Look at the fun Kevin's having. My man.
And then we have Eve LaRue, who plays Erin in this movie. She has 56 credits. Her first role, big breakout role in 1986 is The Love Boat, the Christmas special, 2-part Christmas special where she played...
Two-part Christmas
Yeah,
special?
where she played Bikini Girl number 4.
I don't need that much Christmas. Bikini Girl number 4.
And then she went on to 1987's The Barbarians with the Paul twins and
We
Richard
swear we're going to
Lynch.
get to that at some point.
Richard Lynch and the Paul twins.
Oh, my God.
How do you say no to that? And then she was in 1988's Dangerous Curves, which
Ooh.
is just, it's not as good as it sounds. It's, you look that one up. It's the most 80s poster you've ever seen. It's a guy with sunglasses on sitting in sitting in a field of butts.
Not
Out there
what I thought you were
watering his
gonna
butts.
say.
Yeah. No, but how like every 80s teen comedy had
Yeah.
you got to get the girl with the bikini butt.
Right.
Of course.
It's just like
you got to get Bikini Girl number 4.
right,
Yeah,
but no
exactly.
heads.
Yeah, no heads, just the butt. It is, by the way, cut off
don't-
at the waist.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
want to think of them as people,
Right.
Molly. They are just butts.
For some reason on movie posters, like you can only get the bottom.
Right.
Can't get the top. Sometimes you get the top, sometimes the bottom, never both. Okay.
That's the poster equivalent to getting both halves of the 50.
Exactly. But it also has to do with driving. So Dangerous Curves in both ways, guys.
Wow.
If you want to know, I don't have the description written down, but basically a guy drives a Porsche around because he's delivering it, a la, Vanishing Point style.
Yeah.
And then it gets stolen, and then the guy who stole it happens to run some sort of like topless
And this
bar.
guy gets caught up in a whole thing.
Bunch of dangerous curves, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even Mulholland, just the curves of the lady as well.
Right.
So,
It's a play on words.
very dangerous.
Genius,
Yeah.
you might say.
Yeah. I'm sure they thought so. She was in 1990's Heart Condition.
Oh.
Have you guys ever heard of this movie? Because holy shit, times have changed.
It sounds familiar, and go ahead and tell me, because
Well-
I think I remember.
I can't believe this is a movie. It stars Bob Hoskins and Denzel Washington. Bob Hoskins plays a racist cop who receives a heart transplant from a black lawyer he hates.
Can we watch this?
Then the lawyer returns as a ghost to ask the cop Bob Hoskins to help him take down the men who murdered him.
God, Ghost Denzel
This has to
pestering
be
Bob
an
Hoskins.
episode.
A
You
la
ha-
Roger Rabbit.
You have to do this one.
Yeah, coming soon to Grindbin, Heart Condition. I can't believe this is a movie.
Denzel drops him in the dip.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then Bobby, I don't know if you looked at her credits or not.
I know,
But
I was
here
just
it
waiting.
comes.
I'm like, yeah. Why do we
Okay.
got to talk about this? She's in RoboCop
Okay.
3.
Yep, RoboCop 3, 1993.
Arguably the best RoboCop movie.
Stop it.
Arguably is the right
Look,
word.
I have not
Where
seen
we
that
finally
movie.
reached the line where Peter Weller said no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I said to him, I haven't watched RoboCop 3 in like decades. And I said, is there any point where RoboCop makes friends with a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he does.
RoboCop 3.
I guessed that
RoboCop
shit.
3.
I was like, it's always the
RoboCop 3
third.
also has a lot of guest stars, much like this movie. So, like, Stephen Root's in RoboCop 3, and CCH Pounder shows up. It's all these character actors just hanging out with RoboCop.
Wow. No, I've never seen this movie. It's not a great description or anything, but she was in A Dream. A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, the Annette Funicello story in 1995. She
Fantastic.
was in that, so.
Was she Bikini Girl number 4?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Oh, it's Annette Funicello.
She was also in 129 episodes of All My Children as the character of Dr. Maria Santos Gray.
That's the director. That's the doctor who delivered all the children.
Oh, perfect.
So she went from bikini girl to doctor.
Yeah.
Look at that. You know why?
Molly.
Because she went to college.
Because she went to
Yeah,
college.
She went to college. She's still working, so good for her. Patrick, oh boy. Oh, this name.
You got this, Mike.
Laborto.
Nailed it.
It's
De Muerte.
Boy, is it a mouthful. He plays the character of Mookie. I just called him Rando because I didn't know his fucking name, and he just would randomly show up and look like he wanted to make out with the main character.
I think that was kind of his signature.
Yeah?
I'm
Just
pretty sure he
showing
does that
up?
in summer school.
Okay, well, has 57 credits, including Heathers, Three Ninjas, Summer School. How do you pronounce this? Is it ma'am or mammy?
I don't think it's Mammy.
1974 is some movie starred Lucy.
Yeah, I don't know that. Oh, Mame.
Mame, there you go.
Ma'am. Oh no.
Like, this is...
Yeah, remember when Lucille Ball started in Mammy?
Dude, I don't know her career outside of the Lucy show.
There's a reason we only remember Lucy.
He was in 1987's Terminal Entry. We mentioned that one before because it has the best poster of all time. It's a computer,
We got to cover that at some point.
ninjas, a guy with sunglasses on, and a chef hat.
It's
but is
everything
there a
you'd
field
want.
of butts?
There's not a field of butts.
It's the only thing. You know what? There was room on the poster. They missed an opportunity.
Yeah, they did. And he was in 1990's Ski School,
Oh.
which when I was a kid, I loved a ski movie. Now, I was a big fan of like Ski Patrol. Never saw Ski School because that was R-rated. Wouldn't be allowed to see that one. But big fan of the old ski movie, I guess. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Then Hope Marie Carlton, who plays Veronica in this movie. I only mention her because she appeared in Nightmare 4, Bobby, as the pinup girl was her character name.
Yeah, where young Joey falls asleep staring at the pinup girl on his poster, and suddenly she appears inside his waterbed.
Wow.
Like trapped in the bed?
Like a mermaid coming to him, just all happy and waving at him, and like, come on, come inside. And he's like, whoa, man, what's going on? And then suddenly Freddy comes flying up out of the
Gotcha.
waterbed and famously utters, how's this for a wet dream? Before murdering him.
The classic Nightmare 4.
Oh, yeah. Fucking love Nightmare 4.
And then he lost his deposit.
Yeah.
For blowing up a waterbed all over the floor.
Yeah, what if Freddy's thing was he just fucked with you, and
Yeah.
so that like he got stuff in your life ruined? Like, there goes your deposit.
Yeah.
The other thing is like, she's in Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College because she'd show her boobs because she's in every Andy Sedaris movie.
Yeah, she all the greatest hits. You know, she's
Yeah.
in Savage Beach. She's in Hard Ticket to Hawaii. She's
Yep.
one of the Andy Sedaris players.
Yeah, and she was cast for a reason because she would get naked for money. And that was her character in this movie. It's like, oh, Veronica, always getting naked. I don't think she ever changed her outfit, actually. I think she wore the same lingerie for the whole movie until she took it off and put it back on again. In 1987, she was in Terminal Exposure. Two beachcombing shutterbugs accidentally capture a murder on film.
Whoa.
Now detectives, the boys set out to capture a murderess shot only from behind with a rose tattoo on her butt. Fun in the sun turns dangerous when they end up shooting bullets instead of film.
Oh,
Hey-o! Love that line. She was also in a movie called Slaughterhouse Rock in 1988. This sounds amazing, and I really think this should be on the show one day. A man visits Alcatraz prison after having dreams about all the people who died there. That would somehow make you want to go. When he gets there, his brother is possessed by an evil cannibal demon. The ghost of a female heavy metal singer who was killed there tries to help the man fight the monster.
I absolutely love heavy metal horror. There are
Yeah.
so many. It's such a great subgenre.
But that's just, how do you even pitch that? Guy dreams about Alcatraz, goes, brother becomes a cannibal, demon, then heavy metal rock ghost. She's hot. They kill demons. Money.
Isn't the heavy metal rock ghost Tony Basil
I don't know. I've never seen it, but...
of the song Mickey?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to check it out. She was also in 1989's How I Got Into College, which I think maybe is the only other movie directed
the
by...
Ghoulies.
Yeah.
She got a Ghoulie scholar.
Is that the only other movie directed by Savage Steve Holland of Better Off Dead fame?
It might be.
I didn't know he ever made another movie. But he made How I Got Into College starring Anthony Edwards. So, it's a movie. And she was also in Slumber Party Massacre 3.
Yeah, that one's not.
1990.
That one's not as fun as the first two.
I felt like she was hired for that movie for a reason. Yeah. Okay. Bobby, do you have anybody else to add?
I feel like the other people we can get to as we meet them in the film.
Okay, that's a good one. So we get into the movie. We open on a frat house, of course.
It's 21 years ago. And we're doing this great thunderstorm effects. This feels kind of like Mr. Boogedy Goes to College.
Is this really like thunderstorm effects, or is this like in the editing room?
Oh, it's definitely in the editing room.
Oh, yeah.
Because, man, when those titles come up and the song starts, you're like, oh, God, we're in for it. Like, you already know. Like, do you feel like when you rented a movie back in the day and you brought it home not knowing what it was, once you heard this type of stock music, you're like, oh, fuck!
It's one of these.
Yep. You just know right away they got my money.
So it's a big red flag. like a Fred Onion Roy movie.
Yep. And then,
We wouldn't see, and you would think we would see a Ghoulie a little bit sooner in the movie.
well, we did.
Well, yeah.
We got him in
not
the
really.
cold open
Yeah.
for a second.
Because we have some weird guy and he's like praying on a toilet and it's smoking and turning green, and then they come through a window.
Yeah,
Not the toilet.
he's trying to banish the Ghoulies.
Okay, so
We're
already
basically
here.
coming in on the end of a Ghoulies movie that was never filmed.
Was this also Ghoulies Go to College, or is this a different time when this wasn't a frat house?
This is before it was a frat house. I want to say. I don't
How
believe.
old is this toilet?
21 years at least.
Okay. Wait, it says the time that.
This is 21 years ago was the opening.
Oh, I didn't catch that. So
you heard the music and your eyes closed.
Oh, it did.
They started
Yeah.
glazing over.
was-
You're just like,
God
but yeah,
damn
the
it,
screen
they
said
got me.
All Mike saw was
21 years
red.
ago. That's it. Everything got staticky.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is 21 years prior to the events of Ghoulies Go to College.
Now, do the Ghoulies always come out of the same toilet?
I don't believe so. I think this movie establishes the
So there was
the
never a
magic
toilet before Ghoulies 3.
I think the Ghoulies 3 toilet is because of the box art for Ghoulies 2. Because my understanding was that they did that poster of the Ghoulie coming up out of the toilet.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I remember this correctly, now forgive me, I'm not a Ghoulies expert.
Yeah. We've all never seen a Ghoulies
That
movie
there
until
wasn't
today.
even a scene of a Ghoulie attacking someone from the toilet. They just did it as an image, but everyone loved that image so much they had to go
Oh,
back
really?
and insert a Ghoulie attacks from the toilet scene. And the toilet became forever associated with the Ghoulies.
Because this is like some ancient porcelain, like hand-carved toilet
Yeah,
thing.
this is the ancient Incans made this. Yeah, it looks like an old artifact.
Yeah, but why is it in a frat house? Like, we never get any sort
That's
of
the
like,
bizarre part. It's like we don't
description.
explain how it ends up being the center stall of a frat bathroom.
But but at this point, you're telling me it may not be a frat house. It may be like
I don't know if it's even supposed
maybe
to be,
it's
but
like
it's only
some-
21 years ago. It probably was the college campus.
Yeah.
Okay, unless this is maybe this is like a archaeology professor or something like that, humanities. I don't know.
What's great to think about though is if it's 21 years prior to the events of this movie, that means that this opening scene takes place in the 60s.
Okay, it didn't look like it
At all.
no.
It's just some 80s guy.
You couldn't even
Yeah.
have the guy dress 60s.
I don't think anyone thought about it.
There's one guy. They were like, put some glasses on him because nobody wears glasses anymore. Nerd.
So yeah, this is some 60s college student.
Yeah, so some 60s frat boy is.
So he's reading
praying.
an incantation from a comic book, and it's making this weird toilet glow.
And it's the most 80s looking comic book.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they didn't even get like an old Silver Age comic.
No.
It just looks like an 80s comic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't look like the comic in Back to the Future or anything like that. It
No.
just looks like. Imagine if Marty found this one instead.
But as he's trying to finish the incantation, the ghoulies come crashing in through the window to attack him.
Through the window, which is already like, I thought they come out of the fucking toilet. So you're already confusing me in the first part, but you're saying he's trying to banish them.
He's trying to put them
That's
in
not
the toilet.
established. I don't know what's going on. Why is a ghoulie coming through the window? It'll never do that again.
knows? But as soon as they come in, they immediately start slapping each other around like the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
they are the
Kraken
Three
Wise.
Stooges. Yeah, they are Kraken wise. I call the main guy Mo because he's like Mo, right? And he'll knock some heads together.
And that's the fish ghoulie, the scaly lizard-like one,
the main guy, the leader.
the one from the poster art.
Yeah.
The bald ghoulie.
The bald
I call the one
yeah.
guy Weasley because he kind of looks like one of the weasels from
Yeah, he's
Roger
like a
Rabbit.
rat, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I call the other guy old ghoulie because he just looks like an old man.
Yeah, it's I think they're fish ghoulie, rat ghoulie, and cat ghoulie.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Cat-
gonna go with my names, but
Yeah. I think it's the old man one is actor Richard Kind.
wow.
Who is one of the ghoulies who isn't the scaly one anyway, is Richard Kind. Richard Kind is a guy with 230 acting credits. He's one of those character actors who pops up in everything. Most importantly, the Pixar films.
Yeah.
He's
All
one of the
those.
grasshoppers in Bug's Life. He, appropriately to this show, is the voice of Van in Cars 2. But I think his most significant role that he's known for, if everyone wants to take a moment to get teary-eyed, he's Bing Bong
Oh wow.
from Inside Out.
Oh.
Never seen it.
Oh. That's right. You were busy reading the paper.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I said to you, like, did you see Inside Out? I'm like, did you read the news?
I don't have time for feelings. Look what's going on in the world. Stocks are down.
The ghoulies are like shoving this guy in a toilet. He
And you
screams
could-
some spell.
You know, for all the dumb music, why didn't they put the womp, 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 womp over these guys
Yeah.
while they're hitting each other?
Yeah.
No, because then whoever owned the Three Stooges right at that point just was like, "Fuck you." When
The
they
Howard
called up
estate
asking.
was gonna come for
They
him?
were like, "No, you're not. No, you're not." And so then we just pan down to the Ghoulish Tales comic after they all get shoved in the can, right?
Yeah.
And the music is just so bad, so bad. Then we go to, I guess, 21 years later. It doesn't say that. It just looks like next day.
Yeah, it looks exactly
Yeah,
the same,
this-
but now we are in modern times.
Yeah,
Here
college is open for business,
here at
right?
fucking Yellowstream University.
Okay, they set this thing up like college is open for business, and what's going on? Well, some like dork guy throws an egg at a banner,
Because it's prank week, dude.
but
Yeah.
the way he does it is
Kind of
so,
does it in like a fit of rage.
he does. He's like pissed off. Also,
It's like, fuck you, man.
he's 3 inches from the banner. Like this guy took an egg, stood right next to the banner, chucked it full speed, probably got egg on himself, and then just like looks around and then books it. Even though everybody
that a
saw
prank?
it's not a prank at all. Everybody saw him do it. Like he
Also,
just-
as we'll see in a moment, prank week is going off like nothing you've ever seen.
No.
Literally every student at this school is doing a prank at the same time.
Yeah.
And all this guy could think of was, I'm going to throw a single egg at the banner outside
At a
and then
vinyl
run like the
banner
cops
that
are
it'll
coming.
just slide off of.
this might be the best person in the movie. Like he, in terms of
Eggman?
like things that he does. Like he's the only one not going to prison because you call it prank week. It's more like assault week.
It's felony week.
Yeah, it's like man. Because
But man, yeah, we got people TPing. We got him throwing the eggs. We see there's a goat statue for the school, and someone's gone and put a condom over its face.
Yeah.
Okay, is that a statue or just like a goat somebody murdered?
No, there's
you're
two.
thinking of the flagpole one.
There's the
Yeah.
stone
that
statue.
was weird.
Oh, okay,
That
okay.
seemed like some sort of satanic
yeah,
ritual.
somebody did murder a goat.
Yeah,
at
someone
one point.
runs a taxidermy goat up the flagpole. King Frat.
They got the sprinklers going on girls. You know, they got the whole thing.
I feel like that's another move by the egg guy. You know,
you think
people
so?
are doing their high concept dead goat up the flagpole, and he's waiting by the sprinkler controls like, I'm going to get somebody.
Yeah.
And then, there's this prankster guy. He loosens the mop.
This is something.
Okay, Bobby, please take it away, because I know you're really going to love to tell everybody.
Oh, I know. So, this Joker, this prankster, this anarchist.
Is this a main character or a guy we'll never
He's
see
just an
again?
extra.
Okay,
just
thanks.
a dude.
Yeah, that's great.
The janitor's mopping up, and he walks away for a second, and this guy runs up, and he unscrews the head of the mop, you see. And
we should say, though, that the janitor is mopping outside, which is not a thing that you would do.
Mopping concrete, yeah.
Which was my favorite grunge band in the 90s.
I used to have a neighbor that would vacuum their yard.
I've seen people do that.
I mean, it was AstroTurf, but still really weird.
I still think that's better than mopping concrete, because I don't think that would make a difference.
No, that's going to seep in. So this guy trying to mop concrete, and he turns
And
around.
also, fuck this guy for loosening the screws on it. Like, a janitor's got a hard enough job. You're going to fuck with him? He's not even a student.
He's like minimum wage.
Can there be one off-limits thing about Prank Week? Leave the fucking janitor alone.
Yeah.
He's cleaning up so much this week. So anyway, he loosens that, so when the janitor goes back to grab it, the handle comes off. But
what type of prank is that? You're just a dick.
Yeah.
For
It's not
some
even a
reason,
prank.
this is depicted as like a mousetrap, like Final Destination
It's true.
death.
It sets off a chain reaction.
Yeah, so the handle comes off, and the mop bucket gets away.
Down some stairs.
We're
it's
doing
going,
Battleship
burp, 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 burp.
Potemkin.
Oh my god.
The mop bucket is going down the stairs.
With the other music cues they have in this movie, I'm shocked they didn't do that. Absolutely shocked.
Down the Odessa steps.
Yeah.
And why it sweeps a man's legs out from under him, and you can see the string that does this.
Now, Bobby, this is why.
Not just any old man, but speaking of Friday the 13th 7, who does it knock onto his keister but Jason himself?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Grindbin All-Star Kane Hodder goes ass first into a mop bucket.
Yeah. This is the only time he'll appear in this movie.
Yeah.
Just like in House 2, he's in and out real quick.
And he pardon me, I'm just flustered by the appearance of Kane Hodder. He goes rolling down the sidewalk and runs right into Kevin McCarthy. That's how we introduced Kevin McCarthy.
With the people that were eating the giant
Oh,
sundaes.
yeah, please.
Oh, that does
There's
factor
people
in.
eating giant sundaes, watching this, laughing hysterically. They started laughing at the Odessa Steps part, right?
Obviously, film students.
Yeah. Because they're
We're like,
like,
oh, classic, we're doing Battleship. And when it hits Kevin McCarthy and knocks him out, a big hardbound book that he was carrying, a big textbook, goes flying through the air, hits Ice Cream Guy in the head.
Yeah.
Which makes him suddenly fall face first into his own ice cream. Weirdly enough, he reacts by spitting out his ice cream. Like it wasn't something he was putting in his mouth anyway. He goes, bleh. You know, like when someone falls in a mud puddle or something,
Right.
and they do the spit react, like, life sucks. Bleh.
Yeah, he spits out the ice cream.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
right on his own stomach. Just bleh.
And I write, we are starting strong. Like, god damn, are we starting strong, guys?
Yeah, this is...
So now we get low rent Pauly Shore, is what we call him.
This is Wes.
So Pauly Shore, or Wes.
Well, the weasel.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and there is another weasel in the movie, so it got a little confusing. So I just called him Pauly.
Okay, we'll go with that. But he's hanging out in the King Frat bathroom.
Yeah, taking a shit.
Sorta. Because
Yeah.
he's sitting on the toilet in his boxers.
Something's happening.
Oh, you're right. He is in his boxers.
His underwear's up. So he's either chosen to go sit on a toilet to shit his pants.
Well,
You never know. It's prank week.
maybe it's the most comfortable chair in the house.
It may be.
Yeah.
So he's pranking his own pants.
It might be the only chair.
It might be the only chair, yeah.
And in his own frat, he's got a big permanent marker and he's tagging on the bathroom walls.
Also, you know, we find out later this guy doesn't have a room.
This
That
was
was
He
his
uses
room.
another guy's room.
They make him sleep in the John.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's his stall.
Remember that guy that was sleeping in King Frat in the bathroom? This might be him.
Yeah.
This is him.
He transferred over to Ghoulie University.
Yeah. Did we
but
ever give this thing a
I don't think this university has a name. I
No,
don't remember
right.
seeing. I don't think they had a college campus that would let them show the sign.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So as far as I'm
100%.
concerned, this is Yellowstream.
it could be.
Grindbin All-Star, Yellowstream University. But
Well,
you know what the
and
most
we
heinous
do
thing about
know-
this scene is?
We do know, by the way, that Napalushi became the dean
Yeah.
of Yellowstream University, so this is definitely what it would end up like. So go ahead.
The most heinous thing about this scene, and he's in this disgusting ass bathroom that looks like something out of King Frat, and he's sitting there. He still has his socks on.
Well, would you really want your bare feet on that floor?
Yeah, I think I'd go with bare feet.
No, you want shoes on, is what you
well,
want.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't want
true.
something absorbent walking around in that bathroom, because not a single
Very
one of
true.
them can hit a target.
That's very true.
And so while he's writing his stuff on the walls about whomever,
Himself
probably, Wes sucks. He there's a voice off screen of his frat brothers going like, Wes, what happened? You fall in? Come on, man, it's prank week.
Yeah, as if he'd been there for days. Like they have a whole week.
He's been in there long enough to not know what week it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been depressed before, but not like that.
Well, it is his room, so.
Yeah. And as he's finishing up his script that he's working on in there,
Right.
his wet socked foot kicks out part of the tile on the
thinnest
wall.
tile possible.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible. That thing breaks like a creme brulee. And Molly, what does he find?
He finds the comic book.
By God, the 21-year-old 1980s
Yes,
comic book.
1980s comic.
Ahead of
Frozen
its time,
in
at
time,
its time.
perhaps.
Oh. That somehow got tiled inside the bathroom wall?
Yeah, that wasn't explained.
So, I mean, one has to assume the guy who did the incantation to trap the ghoulies in the magic toilet went, now the only way to make sure that they never get released is we have to get rid of this comic book
Let's put it in a
And he-
thin layer of tile.
next to the toilet.
Next to the toilet.
He wasn't willing to put in the effort to leave that room. He's like, I gotta hide this somewhere where no one will find it. Right here. And he pulls it out and he blows the dust off of it and starts immediately reading it out loud.
And doesn't seem at all perplexed by why it's there or thinks to look for anything else in there.
Yeah, and he's just like, whoa, man, what?
All right.
Comics,
Free
great.
comic.
And he starts reading it out loud, and it's causing the stall next to him to glow green.
Oh yeah, he's not sitting on the Ghoulies throne.
No, he's next to it. There's
Yeah.
3
that's
stalls.
right.
He's in the stall number 1. Stall number 2 is the magic Ghoulie toilet. And but he doesn't get to finish the incantation, so all we get is some light and a little bit shaking, like, oh, it's gonna happen. It doesn't.
Yeah, and everybody's sitting on the edge of their seats going, "Oh, the Ghoulies!" and then they don't come. You got to tease them first. You can't let them. You
true.
just can't show them the goods right away, right?
You can't go full Ghoulie right at the time.
No. Yeah, he's gonna miss prank week though, right?
And
Gotta
so
come
off the
downstairs.
boys go, and here come the boys.
Oh God!
We
So
meet
college
our
Ghoulier leads this group of ragtag frat boys.
Oh, man.
So we got the fat guy with the fedora,
Of
right?
course.
Who I don't think he has a name. I just call him Fatty.
We'll call him Milady.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think so.
We got Jason Scott Lee
Okay, so
as
Jason Scott
as
Lee.
Data of these.
Okay,
of these
I was going to
Goonies.
say short round goes to college.
He also looks, though, like someone from this year.
He
Like
does.
A
He
modern
does,
hipster.
He looks like a hipster.
He does look like a hipster.
Also, he seems too good looking to be with these guys. Because Jason Scott Lee, famous for playing Bruce Lee in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, and playing Mowgli in the first live action Jungle Book from the mid '90s. He's like this like ripped dude. He's like this big muscular guy, and they've got the nerd glasses. He's got the hat with the bill flipped up.
like, okay, he is playing short round or Data in college. Like,
Yeah.
that's his
Data
character.
goes to college.
Yeah, Data goes to college.
You'd think he'd get into a better school.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as we're going with the cliches of college movies.
yeah. No, he reminds me a lot of like what was his name in Revenge of the Nerds? Takahashi or
It's
something
been so
like
long
that.
since I've watched Revenge of the
but
Nerds.
it's clearly like they had him in that movie, so we need one.
Oh, yeah,
and
we're
it's like,
trying
you
to-
know it's
to do that.
1990, right? Like we don't need to do that anymore.
You don't need these token guys. But among that too, with no real dialogue in this movie, is Matthew Lillard did his first role.
Yeah, he will never say a word. He just kind of giggles in the background. He has got a bowl cut and glasses on.
Yeah, he's wearing little short pants and a bow tie because he's a nerd. And he's just sort of there to react to what's going on around him. He never interacts with anybody. He never does anything. He's just hanging out with the
Sometimes
boys.
he'll disappear.
Yeah, he's, just if they couldn't get him that day,
Yeah.
he's just not in the scene. But he's the one.
well-
He's the one guy of this. The group's called the Beta Zeta Thetas, the BZTs, and he's the one who actually goes to class.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're saying like they couldn't get him that day, in the 3 days they shot this movie, he wasn't there one day.
That means a third of the movie he disappears.
Yeah.
Because this movie only has 3 locations, and it was very clear that Kevin McCarthy was on set for one day.
Yeah.
Like, one day, one 12-hour day, He only has to be in one location, and then we'll put some makeup on.
And you know
him.
what? I'm going to give you my all for that one day,
Yeah.
and then never call me again.
Yeah, he was ready.
But yeah, as we're introducing this, they obviously have a king frat. Their leader, this Ghoulie.
Yeah, college Ghoulie.
And he's explained it to him. He's like, you know what, boys? There's just no comparing a gamma yank to a beta zeta theta yank. Am I right, fellas? I mean, who else would have the foresight to reroute the water fountain piping so it squirts you in the pants? Am I right?
Okay, so that happens.
And they show it as he says it. They walk by. Guy goes up to go to the drinking fountain, and it just super soaks him right on the.
It's not even
right
a good
crotch.
prank. It's just like, okay, well, I guess my crotch is wet for a minute.
Looks down and goes,
Just
"That
stand in the
sucks."
sun for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody, you pissed your pants. Like, no, I
And
got
with what we've already established on this campus, that guy must be like, all things considered, I think I made out okay.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
I'm just a little wet. It's just water. I'm good.
I wasn't electrocuted. I didn't blow up.
Yeah.
He's
Just
not
got a
like
little-
the next prank we see. As he's
No.
listing his accomplishments, he's like, or about like the ejector bench.
Yeah, so there's a group of women sitting on a bench, and they are ejected. Like, the bench flips over, and they're sent
It's
to
like
the
an
ground.
Acme product.
Not
Right.
even like as a joke. It's like they get head injuries now.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
people,
they are concussed.
they are at least concussed.
You've given 2 women concussions.
You
Great.
flung them through the air onto
Yeah.
concrete.
CTE.
Yeah, they got massive CTE.
Okay.
The classic BZT CTE. And they
college
react to
Ghoulie-
this by one of the I think it was Mookie who turns and goes, Carter, you're a yanking god.
Okay, they need to stop.
Everyone stop
Don't
saying yanking.
call it yank. It's called it's a prank. It's a prank war. Why do we have to give a nickname to prank and call it yank? It's the same. Like why?
Prank is already like a slang.
Yeah, it already
Everyone
is a
else,
slang.
everyone else pranks. This is something more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they yank it.
This is yanking.
And by the way, there's no jokes for yanking it. It's
Not
just
one.
always just yank is considered a prank, but there's never just like we need to yank it. Let's get
Yeah.
our yank on.
You feel like
Nothing.
John Carl Beekler was driving home after they wrapped filming, and he went, "Shit."
Of course.
He's like, "It was right there." God damn it.
Do you think that like one take somebody fucked up saying prank and called it a yank and they're like, keep it, that's great. That is so fucking
Comedy
funny.
gold.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. We're gonna call them yanks from now on, everybody.
You make the P a Y.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And
So
then,
the boys continue on, and what do they come across on the ground? But a water condom, just sitting there in the road, and they know a trap when they
Waiting to
see
be
one.
thrown.
well, they know that's not from them.
Yeah.
Somebody else must be
Yeah,
yanking.
he wouldn't do this remedial bullshit. This is first year stuff, man. This must be those lame-o gammas.
Yeah, they're yanking it all over the place, right?
Goddamn gammas. And and Coulier says, oh, this looks like something the gammas would do. They're probably aiming a water cannon at me right now. And we look up to the balcony, and
They
there's the
are.
gammas. And my God, they've got another one on deck. They got a water condom right there in the launcher.
Okay, here's the thing, though. They're going to launch this water. They have a big water balloon slingshot, and they are about 10 feet. So this is also going to cause some CTE, because that's going to be a hell of a thing to take right to the head within 10 feet
You
away.
think so? You think a water
Oh,
balloon?
yeah. No, have you ever, like,
I've
have you ever
been in
used-
my share of water balloon
Yeah.
fights.
But have
I've
you
never
ever
been hit with
used-
one and gone, ow.
Have you
Yeah.
ever used a water balloon slingshot?
No.
Okay. We used to have one as kids.
That's some next level shit.
We, at where my
It's like a beanbag
parents
gun.
lived, we used to be able to launch that thing all the way down in the elementary school parking lot.
It's what they're
below our
using right now
home.
in Hong Kong to control people.
Water-filled condoms.
That thing
In a slingshot.
will shoot a water balloon at like 50 miles an hour.
So
and
this
trust
is,
me,
this is riot cop shit.
if you were in front of that thing, it would hurt. Like, it would leave a welt on you
Whoa.
if you got hit by it.
Well, consider
It's
me warned. I don't want
fucking
any part of
dangerous.
this.
That's like getting right next to a T-shirt cannon. Like,
Man.
don't do it, man.
So next time we record, if you show up with a box of condoms, I'll be worried.
Should be worried for a lot of reasons.
Also, it's a condom balloon, which
Right,
condoms,
it's
condoms
automatically
don't
funnier.
break.
They don't break
that
as
easy.
easily.
Yeah, so it's
Well, that's
gonna
why
be
they
a-
found one that hadn't burst yet.
Yeah, that thing is that's gonna leave a mark, man.
Like, you didn't buy Trojans, did you? Because that shit's never gonna pop.
But you know what? Kevin McCarthy's here.
Oh
Right?
man,
Professor
Commandant
Ragnarok
Lazard
or whatever.
showed up.
What's his name? Professor Ragnar.
Ragnar.
Yeah.
yeah. That's Professor Ragnar.
Professor Ragnar shows up, and he's
crusty old dean.
Yeah, he's already. You think he's going to be the dean? No, he's just.
He
a
is.
professor.
He's the dean of humanities.
Well, they reveal that.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Because at one point in a fit of anger, he goes, and also need I remind you that as humanities professor, that makes me the dean.
Because I guess
don't
I'm
know how
the only professor in this school.
I'm the only actor you got to play an authority figure. I'm everything. I'm also the sheriff.
And so he shows
And
up.
mayor.
He starts putting on sashes and badges and everything.
Yeah, he
The
shows
President
up.
of the United States.
And I run the CIA.
He's got a sheriff's badge. He's got everything on
He's
him.
an
right?
astronaut.
Putting on a robe and a fake beard.
He does have a briefcase. Yeah, everything important is him.
But yeah, he walks up, and sure enough, they hit him with a water condom. It bursts right on his shoulder.
Okay, so we should say the other guys, the Gammas. We like to call the main guy Powder because he looks like Powder from the movie Powder.
Okay.
He's just an
Not a
albino.
movie I
little
like
bit
to
more
think
hair.
about, but all right.
Well, neither would you with this guy.
That's true.
He's, a creepy guy. So Powder leads this other group of frat boys, the Gammas, and they're the ones shooting that water balloon. It hits McCarthy right in the head.
Back and to the left.
And I was expecting him to die at this point.
Like, just like the beginning of King Frat?
Yeah.
When we fart on the dean and he dies?
Well, because when I saw him,
Yeah, check out our King Frat episode.
They fart at a dean and he dies. He has a heart
They
attack.
drive by the dean while he's on a morning jog. They put their asses out a window. They fart at him and he dies.
I kind of hope that's how I go.
We
But-
can arrange that.
Kevin McCarthy, this is when I was worried. I was like, oh no, he's going to be out of this movie right away. Oh no.
But
Like
no.
I was all worried, but
But we're
no.
just getting revved up because we get the classic, Beta, Zeta, Theta house. You're going to pay for this. I'll get you, frat boys.
Yeah, he's all pissed about it. And then we learn that basically they're all fighting for the frat crown,
Yeah.
the prank crown, which is a tinfoil. It looks like
a
one of those-
jester hat with
like a
tinfoil
Jughead
on
hat.
it. Yeah, it looks like a Jughead
It's
hat. Yeah.
basically you're competing for Jughead's hat.
But that's the prank crown that
Yeah.
they've been trading back and forth between each other. No other frats are even close. So these are
There are no other frats.
These are there are two frats on this campus, and it's
Yeah.
all full of assholes.
And by the way, I think every student is part of one of the frats.
Yeah.
Because I'll never see another student.
There's
Both
only about
sides
30
roll deep.
students at the school. It's a very small liberal arts college.
Yeah.
And the Gammas come rolling up, and they're like beatboxing.
I guess
That was their
you could
intimidation
call
tactic.
it
They're
that.
doing like the fat boys wheeze. The
Yeah. They're all a bunch of yankers. They're all yanking it around campus and everything.
and we just very, very generic setup. Just like we're gonna take home the prank crown this year, and you guys aren't gonna stop us, Gamma House.
Now the thing is, they'll set this exposition up as easy as anybody could understand it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody even renting Ghoulies 3 could understand it.
The kind of person who would willfully rent.
Yeah.
Like the kind of person who would willfully own it for $4.
Yeah, yeah. But we will go through this plot at least 9 times through the movie, and I'm like,
Just
I get
to be
it.
clear.
I fucking get it. There's a crown, and they're competing with pranks.
You know what's funny? They spend all this time explaining that these two fraternities are fighting over a prank crown and all the ins and outs of that. We still don't know what the fuck a ghoulie is.
No, no.
Like, wait, you maybe could have taken a little bit of time to tell us about the ghoulies?
I know everything about the prank crown. I know the history, who's won it every year.
It feels like this was a prank movie that they just added ghoulies,
Ghoulies
to.
into.
They're like, yeah, what if we
Like they
take...
made the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then
Went
cut
back
in
and
Ghoulies.
inserted scenes
Yeah.
with the ghoulies.
What if we take that prank movie you made, put a ghoulie in it?
And that's why the ghoulies suddenly go to college.
Yeah, and that's why they start coming out of a toilet, all that stuff. It's like it works with the wackiness. So the next thing is we go to Erin, right?
Yeah.
This is our introduction to Erin. She's buying a granola bar or something from the one vending machine in the one hall. The one hall in the entire school, because we're just going to use this hall for every fucking scene. Whenever we're in school, we're either in the classroom or in this hallway.
Basically, yeah.
So this is it, the one hall in the school. She's buying a granola bar, and then College Coulier comes up and goes, "Don't eat that. They're all wax."
Every one of them's wax.
That's
Got
not
'em.
even a...
Brilliant.
So you're telling me that their prank is they went through every fucking thing, rewrapped those things?
Yeah.
Like, they went through the trouble of wrapping them?
You don't know what kind of machinery they have back at
Yeah.
the frat house. They can actually repackage anything.
This is... Man, these frats are on another level,
guy's
man.
a criminal
The counterfeit
mastermind.
candy bars.
This reminds me of that Linda Blair movie where she got stuck in that house. That one, the haunted house with all
Witchery.
No, not the witchery one. The other one when Linda went to college, you know, and they were like pulling pranks on him with the ghosts.
Oh, you're
and
talking
everything.
about Hell Night.
Yeah, Hell Night. Like these frats are like Hell Night level of pranks.
Yeah.
Like they're going all out. They're spending all their parents' money on this shit.
You
like,
know, this
we're getting
movie
fucking-
could have used a mongoloid killer showing up.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they fucking rented the goddamn Snickers factory for a week? And they're like, can we make them all
Hey,
wax?
you know these rich white boys, man. They can do that kind of shit.
That's true. Their
Somebody-
dads owned the candy company.
Somebody's dad owned a candy company.
Yeah.
For
Probably.
sure.
That was like Wes's dad.
Probably, yeah. So they're all wax. And, you know, she says he's a real yanker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gee, Skip, you're quite the yanker. And he explains to her, you know, I'm so sorry I stood you up last night for our date. What am I going to do? It's prank week.
You know, they keep trying to establish that he's really into her, and it sounds like he's had plenty of chances before.
She's given him a million
And
chances.
he
were
just
supposed to go on
doesn't
a
show
date.
up. But, like,
He no-showed their date last night because he was busy prepping the pranks.
Because
for
he
pranks.
was yanking
Because
it.
he was he
he
was
was
busy
yanking it.
at the vending machine. Yeah, that was why he stood her up, because he was in this hallway fucking
Yanking
with the
it.
vending machine.
What is the satisfaction of one person opening up a candy bar and goes, oh, it's wax? Like, is that really going to produce that
Like,
big
someone's
of a
gonna
laugh?
go to bite into it and go, yeah, this power bar's stale,
This
man.
does not taste good.
And they throw
They
it away.
throw it away.
Yeah.
So, something's wrong with this. I better write the company.
And these
Yeah.
guys are just
Maybe they'll
dying.
give me a coupon.
These guys are just
'em.
fucking pissing their pants in the background, just laughing their ass off.
And they're like, you're the king of yanks, man. No one yanks as hard as you.
Because most of the pranks, people, like, other than the violent ones, people are mostly just like, well, that's an inconvenience.
It's either an inconvenience or a trip to the hospital. That's the only pranks we have.
So he bailed on the date, right? Why? We don't really know. Because it's prank week, he says. I guess he was yanking it. But
And have we ever sided with the girl harder than this movie?
Oh, I know.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
well, at one
This
point,
guy's awful.
At one point, I sided with the Ghoulies.
The whole movie.
By the end
I
of the
sided
end of
with
the movie, you're just with it.
Except for when they got kind of rapey.
Yeah, that's when
there are
you
no
know.
heroes in this story.
Yeah, there are no
that's
heroes.
true.
It's just like
True.
the real world.
But no, there's a new man in town, and that's Powder. She's now dating Powder because College Coulier missed one
Yeah.
date.
And
One
man,
date. She's
well, it
moved
sounds
on.
like he's missed more than one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's maybe more than
But
one.
so far, we only know about
We
the
only
one.
know the
We
one.
learn more later. But
But Powder has come in.
and this guy is quintessential frat movie bad guy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He looks straight up Aryan. He looks like a Slytherin.
Well, they constantly refer to him as being a Nazi in this movie, like
And he
multiple
clearly
times.
is. He's got like the hair so blonde it's almost white.
Because they always
Yeah.
say shit. They're like, "Why don't you go hang out with the Hitler Youth?" They say that like 9 times in this
Oh,
movie.
'cause
You're
he's
like,
got the-
Is he really
he's
a
got-
Nazi?
Maybe.
No, I think they're just commenting on how much he looks like an HJ.
He does.
That's Hitler Hugend, not hand job. He's not a yanker.
But no, she's going with him now, which then immediately makes me go, well, I question her judgment now as well.
Yeah.
So, is there any other guys in the school? Like maybe the Eggman might be the one you go with.
Like,
or
go talk to
Maybe
Jason
that-
Scott Lee,
that
yeah.
fish Ghoulie.
the fish.
especially once he gets the clothes.
Yeah.
Maybe like go hang out with the guy who got his pants wet at the drinking fountain. He
Yeah.
didn't do anything bad. Like,
We don't know what his story is. Maybe he's okay.
oh, I'm sorry. Actually, that man's later revealed as a rapist. So everybody on this campus
He's
is
a
terrible.
Nazi rapist.
Yeah, he's a Nazi rapist.
And that was the
so.
deeper meaning of that prank being pulled on him. We've highlighted the problem.
Is this like a prison or is it actually a college?
Watching
Like,
this movie?
Maybe it's a concentration camp.
Whoa.
Could be.
Yeah,
There's
and
just
his
that
dad
one.
runs it.
They just have that one pan back in the
Ghoulies go
hallway,
to
and there's the
Auschwitz.
guards.
You know, if there's a Ghoulies
It's prank
5,
week at Auschwitz.
It's prank week at Auschwitz.
if there's a Ghoulies 5. Look, guys, they've been everywhere. They've been to college. The next only logical thing is either space or a concentration camp, and we can't afford space, so they.
God, can you imagine? I'm sorry, I'm stuck on this idea of doing like a prank comedy about people at Auschwitz pulling pranks on the guards.
Could you imagine them? Well, Jerry Lewis did it. It was
The clown who cried.
called.
Or the day the clown cried.
Could you imagine the producers of Ghoulies calling up Auschwitz and going, "Can we film there?"
Hello? Hello?
You ever seen Ghoulies? You got toilets there?
So,
Bobby, these classes are wild, is what I have written.
Yeah,
right?
this is
Holy
beyond.
shit.
Like,
Yeah, like,
Newcomb High didn't have classes like this.
But like, this is college. Like, you don't have to be there. Like, you're paying for it.
That was the best part about college is like you don't have to show up if you feel like doing
if
something
you-
else that day.
You can go party anywhere. You don't have to go.
Like we all did that. My first semester of junior college, I went on academic probation because I just kept going to the movies.
I mean, if you miss a certain amount, they're like, well, you failed the class.
Right.
But you're not kicked
But
out.
that's
They're
on
like,
you
"We
because
still
you're a
got your
goddamn
money."
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these people are like, yeah, we got to go to school. And
But
shit.
you don't
Like,
have to go.
because
School's lame, man.
here's the things, guys. We got a nerd with says "Born to be Neutered" sign on his back.
That's Matthew Lillard.
Okay, so Matthew Lillard has a
okay.
So
"Born
the
to
one
be
thing
Neutered"
he does
sign.
in this movie is like we open on Matthew Lillard's ass.
Yeah,
We pan up.
it says "Born to
For
be
a long
Neutered."
time because he's really tall.
Some guy is in the old gorilla mask, and I believe it has sunglasses on too.
Yeah.
You know that guy's a yank.
The old Spuds McKenzie of this university. You know.
Like again about people with uninspired pranks. Not that
Yeah.
I like pranks to begin with, but his idea was I'm gonna show up to class in a gorilla mask.
Yeah.
He just
That'll
sits
get
back
him.
like, got him.
That's his
Fucking
yank,
got 'em.
dude. Yanked it.
I'm a yank prince.
And so that's like people are fucking dancing on the ceilings. They're dancing all over the place.
And, yeah, it's like Dangerous Minds in here.
You knew they wanted a fucking I remember in Dangerous Minds when Michelle Pfeiffer came into the class and like Coolio's dancing on the desk and everything. Some guy had like a mask on and like they're putting signs on people. Well, you half expected that if they couldn't afford it, but you know they wanted a skeleton. Like absolutely wanted
We needed
one.
a skeleton smoking a cigarette.
Exactly.
Wearing a trench coat.
But they couldn't afford it, so Kevin McCarthy comes in. He's the teacher.
And he walks up to the chalkboard where someone has already written, Ragnar is on the rag in big letters.
And he just
Again,
gives it a look.
We're in college.
Yeah.
You know, like, remember in college how you write in, you write your teacher's name is on the rag?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I did all the time. I yanked my teachers in college
Like
all the time.
Hey, you know what? It helped you get good grades. No, to think about that too is like these are people who have taken out student loans.
Not these people. Their
No,
parents
no,
are paying.
no,
These
no,
people, that's why they're acting like, man, I gotta
Yeah.
be here, else mom and dad are gonna kick me out.
Molly said liberal arts college, so they're all
goddamn
rich
liberals.
kids. Yeah.
And,
so no, he flips it over, Bobby,
Oh my god.
and you would feel
The
this is
greatest
Like,
yank of all.
I mean, my God.
The reaction
Someone has drawn him
as a horse.
as like a centaur.
Yeah.
And next to it written Ragnaciphidus horses assimus.
And there is not a dry pant in the house. People are laughing so hard.
They're carrying people out of there on
fucking-
stretchers. They're laughing so hard.
Like they called 911 just for this prank, getting ready. Like
that guy
'cause
had
they
to
knew.
take off his gorilla mask. He was laughing too hard.
And he's just staring there like Kevin McCarthy's not even impressed. He's just kind of like, that's it, huh?
I felt like him.
Yeah.
He represented the audience in that moment.
It's not that they're pranking him all over. It's that he's so bored of these pranks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
that's
the
the best you
pranks
can
suck.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, guys, you know what he's teaching today? Because he's like, all right, we're going to get the lesson started about Pandora's box. Wow.
Oh, and the classroom starts snickering because he said box. And
you
he just
know-
that's how he reacts. He just sort of sighs like these fucking
You know the
kids.
guy right now, Control S. Like, save that shit. This thing is going to the big time,
Gonna
baby.
go Gatorade myself.
Yeah, he goes to his fridge, pulls out a Gatorade, and
Pours it on his
dumps
own
himself.
head.
But all he had was the powder Gatorade, so it's really awkward.
But yeah, he's trying to explain to you guys this is an institution of learning. I need you guys to fucking tighten it up for one goddamn second so we can talk about Pandora's box.
Yeah, and that's when he uses this time to go over to Erin and like hit on her.
Can be creepy.
Yeah, he
Like,
gets
what the
real
fuck?
creepy out of nowhere, and it doesn't fit the rest of the.
Because I was
No.
almost on McCarthy's side, and then I'm like, nope, can't be on
There
anybody's.
we go.
Not on anybody's side at this
Because I
point.
don't have written down what he says to her, but yeah, he gets real cartoon wolf otter for a second.
Yeah, he says something about you want to open my Pandora's box or something.
No, he said he wants to open her Pandora's
Oh,
box.
perfect.
That's what it was, yeah. And then from there, he sees Wes in the background making out.
Yeah. Pauly Shore's back there.
Yeah,
Pauly doing
Shore's
his weasel
back there
thing.
doing his weasel thing with the girl from the waterbed.
He's even dressed like Encino Man, Pauly Shore. Like he's got
Yeah.
the jacket on and
Oh
everything.
yeah, he's straight out of a Goofy movie.
and he's got like the
He's
really
eating
is.
cheese whiz out of his hand.
And he's got the fucking Jim Morrison shirt on or some shit. Like he's a real partier. This
We
guy,
know this
dude.
guy.
Fucking
He
jean
hangs out with
shorts.
Spud McKenzie.
Yeah, ripped jean shorts and everything. So yeah, he's also making out. But Bobby, he also brought a comic to class.
Making out with the magic comic book in his hand.
Yeah.
That's probably how he started making out with that girl.
Yeah,
He's like, check
You're
this
into
out.
comics? Oh my god.
Yeah. That's how it works, man. That's how I got my wife.
and so McCarthy grabs that comic from him.
He's like, what the shit is this? And he starts reading it out loud.
And the ghoulies are rising from the can as he's reading this.
Oh,
We're
man.
cutting back to that porcelain throne. They're rising
The
out.
hopper's hopping.
And everybody's just like sitting going, the ghoulie. Nope, not yet.
But then he stops.
Not yet.
Still no ghoulies.
No.
And instead of that, he goes, you know what? You're all going to have a pop quiz. And then his podium bursts.
Oh, Lord.
Is this where it turns into the alligator?
Yeah, there's an alligator raft, like a pool
It's
floating
just
thing.
like, okay, this again, like if there was some dry pants for the centaur joke,
Yeah.
but now everybody's wet.
Now
Like-
an alligator raft inflated itself on his podium. And we find out that this one was one of the genius moves by our king of Yanks.
Oh, and the rest of the gammas are like, they have creamed their pants at this point. They are
beta, zeta,
so
thetas.
Oh yeah, the betas are
The gammas
so
are unimpressed because it's not theirs.
goddamn impressed by this alligator float that just appears.
Oh, they're lining up to kiss him right on the mouth for this great prank he pulled.
Well, Rando's about to the whole movie. Like, there's
yeah.
a lot of sexual tension in this movie, and none of it is between men and women. Absolutely none of it.
And that's okay.
yeah, it's perfectly fine.
But that's when we have him having his meltdown. He's like, I bear in mind, people, I'm also the dean and the mayor and the sheriff and God. and that he is the one in charge of who gets to graduate and who doesn't.
This prank's not even good.
No, they're terrible.
It's a goddamn alligator float. Who
we need
cares?
we need Kevin McAllister showing up to show him how to do a real prank. I'm gonna set your head on fire and then punch
Also,
you in the
how
balls.
does it prevent them from doing a pop quiz?
It doesn't.
No,
It
there's just
somehow
an
manages to
alligator in the room
cancel the
now.
pop quiz though.
Yeah. No, like, school's over for the day.
He's
It was
been
such
bested. He's
yeah.
like James Hook. He sees an alligator. He's like, I can't. The crocodile has frozen.
Yeah, basically, McCarthy says, because I'm the leader of the whole school, this concentration camp, I will decide who fails.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
And so now we're going to a frat party, y'all.
Yeah. Well, he says, you will get the axe. Cut to some guy axing a pizza.
Cutting a pizza with a hatchet.
I like that idea. And I'm going to try it next time we get pizza.
Yeah, you did say you were on board for this.
You know, Mike,
Yeah.
that's the power move. You
true.
come in with an axe, start chopping somebody's pizza. That pizza's yours now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's going to fight you for that.
That's true.
And
Oh,
we get a
that's-
great gag that comes out of this, though, because two girls walk up to Coulier, and they're like, hey, Skip, we can't find the pizza we ordered. Do you have a large sausage?
Zing.
And he goes, no complaints yet. Cut it out.
Jesus.
Of this movie.
Remember when he said that one to the girls in Full House?
They're like, we ordered pizza, Uncle Joey. Did we get a large sausage? He's like, not for a few more years.
Uncle Joey's talking about his sausage again.
Danny just gives him a look.
Just a stone-faced Stamos shaking his head at him.
Have
Dude,
mercy.
no. And I'm the one who has to live in the fucking attic. This guy shares a room, like shares a wall with them. For God's sake,
We gotta get this guy out of here. And Pauly Shore is still making time with that girl. And they're really getting hot and or heavy on this couch here. She's like gripping him by the testicles.
Yeah.
And
through his
we should
pants.
say, so we don't have to keep going back to it. At the same time that the frat party's happening, Kevin McCarthy is grading papers, but eventually starts reading the Ghoulies book.
Yeah, he's got it on
So
his
let's
desk,
just say
and it's kind
that's-
of luring him in to read it.
Let's just say that's going on while we describe the frat
Yeah.
party, okay? So that's why eventually something will happen with the toilet.
So we cut between like something that's actually moving the plot along, and
Yeah.
then like the fat beta zeta theta making a pizza sandwich
Yeah,
out of
and-
every slice of pizza.
Did you know that Data's Asian? Because we're about to be
Jason Scott Lee.
Like, did you know that the character was Asian? Because they gotta
That's his whole
remind you.
character.
They made it. Yeah,
Just
that
in
was
case
like
you
who-
didn't see it.
Yeah.
They got to be like, because Because he's Asian and he's into electronics.
The only
Because
thing
his
that
whole character thing is he has this awesome imported stereo from Japan,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's trying to show any girl he can talk to it because that's his way in.
yeah.
It's what he has to offer.
The
It's
only
like-
part that, or the only thing that scene was missing was a gong.
Really, if he had played the tape player and had played it, I would not have been surprised
Yeah.
at all.
Like the one step further would be if his command of the English language wasn't like everybody else's.
Correct.
At least he talks like
you
everyone
feel
else.
like they wanted him to. Like, could
Like
you
I
do
hope
a little
he put his
broken
foot down.
English
Like,
or
I'm
something?
not.
It's
I'm
like,
not
no.
doing English, dude. We're not
No.
doing that.
Absolutely not.
But,
But it's so bad. This is 1990, and it's just like, oh, look at my stereo. I'm Asian. It's just so bad.
and all of the beta zeta thetas who haven't been given a shred of a character, like the fat guy eating an entire
Fatty.
pizza like a sandwich.
He puts every
He
slice
stacks
of
them
a
all
pizza.
up, and so he can grip it like he's eating a big cheeseburger at a commercial, and just starts going to Dagwood on it.
Yeah.
Now these characters, because they have nothing else to do in this movie, are all propped up on a couch watching Polly,
Yeah. Make out with
get a little
make
over
out
the
with
pants
that girl
action
from
with
the,
that girl from earlier.
Yeah, from the Sedaris movies.
Yeah. And this happens in all of these movies.
Yeah.
Like, I've been at parties where friends of mine started making out. I didn't grab a chair.
No.
You didn't go watch
Post up 3 feet away and be like, get him, boy.
Oh,
You know,
Molly and I
that's-
love to do that.
Yeah.
We go, woo!
Is that how you two met?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you were sitting down watching a friend, you turned and went, oh, hi. Didn't see you were already here.
We are big fans of eating like hoagies and pizza and watching people make out at parties.
Yeah.
So
Solid.
we give them tips,
You mean you throw money to him?
Yeah. Look, if they're gonna like make me have to watch the PDA, then they're gonna know I'm watching it.
You're going to start directing it?
Yeah.
You're going to sit in a chair with a megaphone?
It's uncomfortable enough they're gonna do it in public. Might as well make it more uncomfortable, right?
So, let's see. From here, the girl, they start reacting like they've both climaxed.
Yeah.
No, they're going over the top.
And it's not what they're trying to tell us here. They're trying to say that, like, it's time to move this to another room.
Yeah.
But, like, he especially is acting, like, fatigued like it's over already.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been for him.
I think it was.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Because she does touch his crotch and he's like, oh, I'm done.
And she says, hey, why don't we go to Skip's room with the equipment?
So now we learn Pauly Shore does not have a room. So
Not one
he's
of his
just kind of like, by the way, there was a Pauly Shore Goes to College. Wasn't that Son-in-Law?
I think it was most of Pauly Shore's movies.
Yeah, I guess so.
He might have like a tent in the back.
They make him sleep outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go to Skip's room.
And he kind of
um,
dreads it. He goes, not the equipment. And they take off.
So College Coulier's room, by the way. We'll get into that.
We will when
but
they get there.
Wow.
For sure.
So,
And Officer Barkus shows up.
oh, Lord.
We are introduced to another character we don't need.
No.
This guy, by the way.
This is a real
I didn't write
Paul
it
Blart.
down, but huge character actor. He has done so many movies, and he's in just tons of shit.
Always playing this kind of
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean
this
big movies.
dimwit authoritarian
like
character.
really big movies. He just always plays the dumb cop in everything.
He does it well.
He does like
But-
dumb cop, racist cop, mean cop, whatever you need. Cop,
And he rolls up in his golf cart. And,
which has a name.
What was it? Deborah?
I didn't write it down.
Hey, bro.
Debbie? Something like
It's
that.
like Maureen or something.
I didn't catch it
Maureen?
either, so
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just taking
it's
your
there.
word for it.
Yeah.
We'll call it Debbie.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
the
he comes
listeners are
rolling
going
up
to
in
watch
Debbie.
it, so
Yeah.
they'll know.
And we establish that he has been sent by the dean.
Do you guys think he's fucking that cart?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No question.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing it raw.
Yeah.
Right
Exhaust
in that
pipe.
tailpipe. Yeah.
Oh, like all that dragon art. Yeah, and he's been sent by the dean to keep an eye on these BZT boys and warn them that he's watching them if they get caught slipping just one time.
Yeah. They're in big trouble. But that's when we go back to the frat house, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that when we
and,
go to Pauly Shore and the girl in the room.
Not
and-
quite yet, because first a girl stumbles out of the closet,
Oh, yeah.
and they're trying to imply that she has this taxidermy animal head stuck on her head.
Yeah.
But it's just a taxidermy like wall plaque, so she's holding it against her face
Yeah.
Yeah.
and trying to angle it so the camera can't see that it's not stuck over her head.
Right.
And our main guy, Coulier, goes, some girls will do anything for $1.
Cut it out.
See, because it's $1.
God.
And then as he's trying to help her get it off of her, he ends up kind of getting into a Heimlich position. I don't know how that
Yeah.
helps, but this girl is in her underwear, and
Right.
that's when Aaron walks in.
Of
I
course.
didn't know this was a stag party.
Boom!
When she said that, just everybody in the audience just dying.
Yeah.
Dying.
I wanted all the characters on screen to break the fourth wall and just go, and then back to the movie.
But she's like upset. She gives him his Letterman jacket back. She's like,
Because
we're
she
not
says,
dating anymore.
I can't see a future with a guy whose sole goal in life is to be the prince of pranks.
So she's going to date the other guy who's.
I
the
mean,
Prince
is she
of Pranks.
wrong?
She's dating the guy instead of him,
She's
who
dating the
is
other
the
prank guy.
current Prince of Pranks. He
Well, I guess
is
the only thing
winner.
worse than being the Prince of Pranks is wanting to be the Prince of Pranks.
That's true.
That other guy doesn't want to be. He has to be.
He has to be. It's
He
his
didn't
destiny.
ask for this life. It chose him.
Yeah, the Yank life chose him.
And so finally, with this back and forth with Kevin McCarthy, he has read enough of the comic book. The goddamn Ghoulies have been summoned.
Well, we should say though, there is a scene like there. We keep cutting back to a sex scene between Pauly Shore and that girl, and at one point
But
they're
it's
trying
not
to.
really a sex
no,
scene.
they're
just
trying
like
to.
They set it up like
rolling
it is
around.
one.
They're trying to fuck on a exercise bike at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think it's supposed to. They've cropped it and framed it like they're having sex, but I think she's making him work out.
Yeah, they're like
She's a
working
fitness
out.
girl, and she wants to go to the room. So he did finish on the couch. Now that I've given you that, let's go upstairs and work out.
And there is a big neon sign in College Coulier's room that says sex,
Subtle.
which is really weird because Dave Coulier in Full House also had that neon sign in
Yeah.
his room.
Yeah, it's why we never went in there.
Yeah, that's why the girls weren't allowed.
He kept it next to that woodchuck puppet.
I mean, did you ever see an episode where any of the girls
Yeah, he
were
and Ranger Joe had real close.
Was there any episode where the girls were allowed in Joey's room?
No,
I feel like they're
never.
like, no, it has an extra lock.
It has like 12 locks.
It's got one of
A
those
retina scanner.
a retina scanner and one of those big spinning wheel latches. It's like a door in a
vault.
submarine. So yeah, finally, our Mo, Larry, and Curly finally get summoned out of the toilet,
Finally.
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
It's only been like an hour.
and they're already starting to smack each other around.
Well,
and-
the first
and-
line is Mo says, "What a dump!"
yeah,
Hey, 'Cause he came out of a toilet.
yeah.
I cannot believe they didn't talk in the other movies.
I know this is so weird because they come out like
That
we're
they're just
supposed
the
to see our.
critters in
Yeah.
the first two
We're
movies.
supposed to see our characters like they're all coming out like we should know who they are, and
Yeah.
they say their lines like the old Ghoulie
Yeah.
says, "Honey, I'm home,"
There's practically applause breaks as they come up out of the toilet.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, Al.
Yeah. And Weasley and Old get into a fight, which I'm assuming is like their thing, like they would always fight with each other or something.
Sure.
Guess not.
And
It's when Mo does the head knock from the Three Stooges, Yeah, and you get that sound effect.
and they hear the moaning coming from the room, and one of the Ghoulies, let's say Larry, says, "It smells like something screwy's going on."
God.
And that's when we pan inside, and they seem to be having sex whilst running on a treadmill.
Yeah, they're trying to at least.
They can't quite get the logistics of it to work.
No, but the party's ending at this point because they're going out to do some yanks. The guys are like, we're going to go
Yeah.
yank ourselves tonight. We're going to go out,
Of
do
course.
some yanks.
Like
yeah.
We're
every
going to yank all over the town.
Yeah. Yank the town.
We're gonna paint this town yank. And but Dean McCarthy, summons the Ghoulies to his office by reading part of the Magic comic book, and they get teleported to his office.
Yeah, because the Ghoulies do go into the sex room, but that's when they cut back. At this point, though, the party has ended, so while they're going out to yank the town, they do say, "Hey, Pauly Shore, you got to watch the house," and he's like, "Fine," he's just upstairs. And that's when I believe, yes, we go back to Kevin McCarthy, and he has the Ghoulies in his office.
Yep, he's lining them up.
Yeah.
And he's explaining to them that he's their master now.
Well, they're also pissed because they're like, "What happened to Bodacious Babe?"
Yeah,
and everything.
They weren't
you
happy
know?
about getting
Yeah.
teleported out of that
So
room.
we get our first thing of horny Ghoulies.
Ghoulie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time a Ghoulie has pitched a half chub.
Yeah, nothing worse than a horned up Ghoulie.
Oh, nothing.
It's because Ghoulies are like murderous.
Do you think they got like a note from somebody like, yeah, this franchise is pretty good, but they're not horny enough?
I need a
It
horny
was.
Ghoulie.
It was a note passed to the director during filming when he says, "Make them horny."
The kids are really into horny things now. Horn this movie up.
This episode is brought to you by Ghoulie Chew.
The napkin the director got just said, "Make them horny."
He got a napkin that said horny on it, underlined twice. He's like, I'm not sure I understand this message.
Does he mean the Ghoulies or everybody? Everyone. Make 'em all
Everyone.
horny.
He got a second napkin that said horny again.
Hornier. Push the horn.
Yeah, have one of the ghoulies say he's got a boner. We got to fit that into the movie at one point. And so then,
God,
okay.
and think about the fact that they didn't speak for the first two movies, and then suddenly they're just like, "Yeah, I got the horn."
Yeah, that's what
God,
the people want.
I don't want them to speak anymore.
Look, we did a lot of focus groups, and people said the one thing missing from Ghoulies 1 and 2 is they weren't horny. So we really got to emphasize that in number 3. Also, they got to talk. That's secondary, though. Make sure you can portray the horniness without words. So,
and that was the next
Something
logical
like a
step.
half chub.
Because we get to part 4, and they've actually cast human beings as the
Yeah.
Ghoulies. I can imagine they're like, look, do I have to...
That means they can procreate.
well, you didn't get that far into the movie, but it's a Wynorski movie, so trust me, a Ghoulie's fucking at some point.
Do you think the puppeteers handled this like the Muppets?
It could have been the same
Like,
puppeteers.
between scenes, they wouldn't break out of the characters, and they're just wandering around the set as the Ghoulies?
Let's hope not. They're like, what's
That's
your
how
other
the Me
job?
Too movement started.
Oh, God. Someone got grabbed by the Ghoulies?
Yeah.
You know they were like going it, they're putting the Ghoulies in the fucking craft service line and everything, and just messing it all up. And people are like,
Oh, you know, this is like Paul Rodriguez in our Patreon exclusive episode, where he's
yeah,
just like,
Whoopie Boys.
yeah, you had a Ghoulie like putting a carrot inside a Cornish game
Oh,
hen.
100%. But at one point, while Kevin McCarthy's all pissed at these Ghoulies, like wondering what the hell they are, he says, "Be gone!" And Weasley is immediately transported back to the frat house.
Yeah.
He's on the throne. So we now learn that Kevin McCarthy has control over the Ghoulies.
He can send them anywhere he wants to send them
He can
for anything
summon
he
them.
wants them to do.
He can summon them and banish them, but apparently they can only get banished to the toilet because they can't appear everywhere.
That's
They
where the
just-
portal is open.
Yeah, so he can just go like from his office.
He has to go move the toilet if he wants to send them somewhere else.
Yeah. So then at one point, Weasley gets knocked back to the frat house, and Polly and the girl are finished now, right? And he's like,
Well, no,
not.
she said it was just foreplay.
yes,
They were
because
getting ready.
They're breathing in the bed,
And
he goes,
he needs a break.
yeah, because he's like, I keep hearing a sound, and I got to guard the frat house because there's guys yanking all over this house.
Can't everyone yanking in my frat house?
Yeah, and so she's like, fine, and so he goes, he has to guard the frat. Polly goes to the can. He goes in and he like hears a sound, so he does like a Bruce Lee impression, which is like,
Oh, yeah.
God. And then the music starts up, and we know, oh boy, we're in trouble. It's coming. And then Polly looks into the toilet, and that's when Mo grabs him by the face and pulls him into the toilet.
Not quite
at one
yet.
point. No. He pulls him in, right? And
Oh,
then
right.
he falls
Okay.
back.
Just for a second,
Yeah.
not-
Polly Shore falls back, and Mo says, "You ever think to knock?" Wow. And there's a fight scene between Ghoulies and Polly Shore as
that culminates with him getting hit in the balls with a toilet brush.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which isn't really that hard of an object.
Pretty soft on
It's a
the end.
soft
Yeah. It's a
object.
brush.
I still don't want anyone
Wait.
whapping me in the balls with it, but
He did have boxers on. So this is kind of hard bristles. That might have hurt a little bit.
might have gotten a...
Don't know if it'd bring you to your knees, but well, after the whole
He's already
He was
broken
already
out.
weak.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
tender.
He'd already been fucked out, so he's at a weak point. And that's when Weasley does that, and he says, 2 balls, 1 strike. Are any of these hitting, guys? Is this on, or no?
Swing and a miss.
It's just not horny enough for me.
Yeah.
No. So the girl's working out in the room. Veronica's working out, right? Unaware of what's going on. And then at one point, she takes off her headphones and goes, Wesley, are you in the toilet? Are you in the toilet? And then we just say, oh, you're right. Funny she should say that. Because
we go back.
And he's literally in the toilet.
They
Yeah.
are jamming him down, and this is like he's got like a leg sticking up out of the bowl, and his body has been contorted in ways that a human can't be contorted.
Yeah, I don't know how he's even alive at this point. He's all shoved in a toilet.
This is like when Jason folded up a bed on a guy.
Imagine if Jason had like the Ghoulies coming around as his sidekicks.
And he's just the quiet straight man to these ghoulies.
That could be a
They're riding around on his
crossover.
shoulders, and he's just sighing
Maybe
at them.
he's their dad.
Hey, well, ever since he
What?
fell in that mop bucket earlier.
So Mac's still in his office. He's all freaking out, right? McCarthy's there, and he's just like, oh my God, thinking about how he has all this power now that he has this comic. He realizes something's up, right? Then we go to what I never imagined I'd ever want to see, and I hope I never see again, is Ghoulie point of view. Ghoulie POV. As they go around the
Ghoulie
frat
vision.
house
Yeah.
looking for something. We don't know what it is. It's like, we don't know if they're looking for food, what it is, and then all of a sudden, They open a closet, and a bunch of shit falls on them. But somehow they get dressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they find clothes that fit them.
So
well,
they,
you know, these idiot yankers probably had children's clothing for some kind of prank.
But now they just, seriously, it is children's clothing. They just look like the cast of Doug now. Like they like one of them looks like Skeeter, the other one looks like Doug. They just all like dressed
Our
like
main ghoulie has
Nickelodeon characters.
Is dressed like Dave Coulier. He's got like a weird yellow printed shirt with the sleeves rolled up and like a vest over it. He's got a neckerchief and a ball cap. The cat ghoulie is wearing a red and green football jersey, numbered 13. Thank you, John Carl
wow.
Biegler. Sure, that was a shout out to everything
I
he's
hope.
already worked on.
Yeah, and then Weasley just takes an axe and starts hitting the stereo with it. He's just like, and he starts hitting the stereo with
He's an
the
agent of
axe.
chaos.
And he just starts going like the typical college kid thing. He's like, I hate my father, I hate my parents, and stuff, you know?
It's a real college experience.
Yeah. And then Mo smashes a trophy case. The old Ghoulie's just eating. And then him and Weasley get in another fight. And Mo does the old head knock. And he goes, Steering!
This is the best parts of the movie, man.
Wow.
This is what we all came for.
And I rate the scene ends for now. I'm sure we'll get back to it. But now the Ghoulies have now found... Well, they found the obelisk from 2001.
Yeah.
Because
I get the slow pan up.
the music plays from 2001 as we see from a low Ghoulie POV. We pan up to see it. They open the door, and boy, Miller Lite must have been so proud that they sponsored this movie. There are, as we'll hear later,
2001 beer can.
2001 beer cans in this fridge. Wow. Wow. And so the old Ghoulie takes a beer out of the fridge, and all the beers fall out.
Oh, you
man.
Ghoulies.
So then we cut away from the Ghoulies, thank God. But that's worse because we cut to College Coulier and Rando. What's his name?
His partner?
Yeah. Mookie. College Coulier and Mookie are in the front of the other frat house, right? And they're going to yank these guys off.
Yeah, they are.
As there's two guys pissing in the yard, and Bobby, College Coulier says he wants to slingshot one of them, but Mookie's like, well, hold on, we can't like assault somebody. I mean, not a man at least.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? He
This
goes,
is unprecedented. We're not gonna.
yeah, we can't do that. And he goes, no,
men
no,
have
no.
rights. You can't do that.
And he goes, no. You know, College Coulier's, he's a professional yanker, man. This guy knows what he's doing. So, Bobby, what's he do?
Is this where we go after the scooter?
Oh, no, he hits this lion statue next to him. So the guy pisses on the other guy.
Oh, right. Classic.
Classic Coulier. Oh, Lord. You ever think he did that to Danny and Jesse?
Oh, I know
They're
he did.
pissing in the yard, and then he...
You know, if you look carefully in the background, you can see
Yeah.
you can see him peeing on various objects in the house.
Actually, everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
There's a piss.
Of somebody who yanked you.
So no, yeah, it's the whole joke. He pisses on the other guy, and then College Coulier says, "Now for my next trick," and I'm terrified.
Yeah.
As
Who knows
we just,
what this can be?
Yeah, we just cut back
Someone
to the
might
frat
die.
house, right? And the Ghoulies are getting drunk. They're doing the old ET, right? Getting drunk.
Of course.
And you just see like beers piling up, and they're just burping and farting all over the fucking place.
Oh, this is what we wanted.
And at one point, they run out of beer, so they just start drinking Drano.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoking from the ears, and yeah, because Weasley drinks it, and then Mo's like, "Here, you drink it, old one," and then we're laughing. I guess somebody's enjoying this. This is like they really thought this was Gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they really thought people were just gonna love this shit. But the problem is like they never found anything fun for the Ghoulies to do, and also they don't have enough sets. So
They don't have enough sex?
Sets.
Oh.
Well, they didn't have enough sex.
Molly, you want to pass Mike
look,
that napkin?
the biggest note they
Horny.
got back from the producer was not enough sex.
Hornier.
Yeah, and he was
Hornier
like,
still.
"Oh, I guess we can add some more sex scenes. You know, we got that girl from the Sedaris films." He goes, "I said not enough sex. You gave me more human sex."
This is
We're
not.
more ghoulie.
Yeah,
sex.
where's my Ghoulie sex?
Yeah,
Oh.
what we needed was one of those
They
slap
needed-
fights
they
between the
needed a
Ghoulies
hot
to
Ghoulie.
suddenly turn into. Yeah.
They needed the hot Ghoulie, like the hot Gremlin.
Yeah.
and Gremlin
They
2.
should have gone back to Dean McCarthy
Yeah.
and been like, can you get us a girl? And then he flips
make,
pages
like, a
through the
hot
comic
Ghoulie?
book and reads an incantation.
Yeah,
and
there's,
the
like, an
lady
ad in the
Ghoulie
back.
pops up out of the
Yeah.
toilet.
He's yanking his way through that comic book, and
Absolutely.
the hot Ghoulie comes out of the
toilet starts glowing again, but this time it glows pink.
Hot pink. Yeah.
And you know damn well that boobs would come out before the head.
The first thing
Or
you see
legs.
is a pair of boobs. Or just a foot with a pump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, 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 as it just comes out.
And they're like, oh!
Okay. If we really had to see a Ghoulie sex scene, I might have turned this off. Like, I might have been
I
like,
might have
no.
turned this up.
And so that's when College Ghoulier and his boy, right?
This
they're-
is the scooter scene.
Yeah, they're going to get that scooter.
Jeremy's schooner. Jeremy being Powder.
Yeah, so Powder Scooter, the whole plan
He's
is...
got this scooter that he loves.
He's like a Vespa,
It's a-
right?
just like a sky blue
That
Vespa.
at night he parks but where there's a giant trash truck right next to their house.
Yeah.
Whether it's their trash truck or not, I don't know. But they like come in with all these tools and everything and like wire. Like this is like fucking wire. This isn't like string. Like we're doing like fucking Mission Impossible shit.
Yeah, we got full tool belts and like high tension wire.
And by the way, they don't even explain the plan. They almost like know. They're in sync on what they're gonna do.
Because you know the rules. If we explain it first, it's not going to work.
And so they attach the string, but they do have to explain it to the audience because they're fucking idiots. Is they say, when he pulls away with that scooter, the trash is going to fall on him. But I go, well, not really. When he pulls away on the scooter, the trash might just fall out of the truck.
It's
But
going to fall on him.
is it?
Skip, you're a master. No one yanks like you, Skip.
Nobody yanks. If only I could yank as hard as you could.
You yank so strong.
And they're like, okay, well, now we're going to run off. But then the Ghoulies are here, and they heard it's prank week.
And so they're turning to each other going, prank week? Prank week? Prank week?
Prank week. And so, you know, they really could have done the Aflac commercials if you didn't have the duck. You have the Ghoulies doing it.
Oh, God. The Aflac Ghoulies?
Yeah.
That's what we need to bring back the Ghoulies for some kind of marketing campaign.
Definitely.
Yeah, Aflac.
Yeah. Maybe some sort of prescription drug
Yeah.
for like schizophrenia.
Blue Chew?
Yeah, you can get a horny Ghoulie.
Oh, yeah.
so.
Viagra.
Yeah. Just Blue Chew.
So
Get your Ghoulie ready.
the Ghoulies are now going to one-up this prank by just fucking trashing the scooter,
They don't
apparently.
quite get how pranks work, so they just grab a sledgehammer
They
and
take
go,
them too
prank
far.
week, prank
Yeah.
week.
But, you know, the Ghoulies are trying. This
Yeah.
is why they got to go to school.
They're in the spirit.
Yeah. And at this point, it's like, well, the Ghoulies aren't that bad. The only person they killed was Pauly Shore, and, like, nobody liked them.
No,
They
and
did
no
him a
one
favor.
ever speaks of him again, really. I mean,
No,
There
well,
is- they
yeah.
do go, where's
Yeah.
Wes?
but that's like
Yeah.
it. Like,
I
they
can't
don't
wait till we
really
get to
care.
that part, actually. So now we're back at the frat house the next morning, right?
The boys are all coming into the frat house. They've been out all night yanking
Okay,
it.
which is the other thing is, like, they... Where have they been? It's daytime at this point.
Everywhere.
Pranking. Yanking all over town.
They've been yanking everything.
It's like, yeah, so they come
Yanking
home.
anything they can get their hands on.
They come to find out, oh my God, the living room's trashed.
This is when I said it would have helped if we knew what the living room looked like before.
This is our first time we've seen
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Because for what
And
we
looking
know,
at the
this could have
bathroom,
been it.
they live at the fucking
Yeah,
King
it's
frat
a dump.
house.
Yeah.
And so they all happen to be drinking beers on the way in.
Yeah, of course they are, Bobby.
And so we
Like-
get the reaction of simultaneously every member of the BZTs goes
Yeah.
and spit takes on the floor when they see how messed up the room is.
And Data's all upset they ruined his stereo.
It's destroyed.
That
which
is
is pretty
sad.
fucked up.
That is.
It's all he had as a character trait.
yeah.
and
Now
then-
he's nothing.
Yeah.
He's just a hat.
Yeah. And generally throughout the rest of this movie, that he has nothing else now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hanging out with Lillard in the background.
This
the two
is-
guys from this movie who go on to be the most famous actors are just chilling in the background.
They're
Yeah.
destroyed.
And that's when Milady or Fatty, well, you would think he would say something like, they took all our food or not. No, he's like, it must have been that other frat. It must have been Gamma.
Those damn gammas. And
Yeah.
that's where someone finally asked where Wes is.
Yeah. And they're like, Wes? And then College Ghoulier and his boy go up to go find him, and he's not around.
Yeah.
He's not even in the toilet.
Where we last saw him.
Yeah.
Where he's always.
Right.
And
they
that-
checked his bedroom.
Yeah.
And then
Like, hey,
Mil-
Wes, you here? And they went in the bathroom.
And that's when we learn the thing that Milady comes in and goes, they drank all 2001 beers.
And that's where
Wow.
you say, this is war.
So that's when they say, yeah, powder's going down. And the next thing we see is College Ghoulier is hanging out Now he's just in Veronica's room.
Well, because he's come to the sorority house to look for Aaron.
Yeah,
He
but
needs to try to patch things up with it.
Like, fuck any sort of, like, we don't have any sets.
Well, it's
We're
not-
just going to go right to her room, right?
Yeah, there's no exterior shots.
Because the setup is just, he's magically in a girl's room, and he's like, so you ever seen Wes around? And then she's just like, wah, 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 putting out her leg and putting on a stocking and everything. She's like, oh, why are we talking about Wes, you know? Talk about you, the king of pranks. You know, I don't know what you see in Aaron, you know? Meh, meh, meh.
So while they're talking about the whereabouts of Wes, she's like, I haven't seen him in a while, but oops, my bra seems to have broken.
Right.
The front clasp isn't working. Can you help me put it back together? And he goes, whoa, 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 what? All right. And so he gets behind her like he did with the horsehead girl or the buckhead girl earlier. And he's trying to help her fasten her bra. And wouldn't you know it, Aaron walks in.
Of course.
Oh, no. And
And she has some snappy line. I don't remember what it was, though.
yeah, I don't remember what she says about that, but we...
She always has a quip ready.
Every time. She's like, she knew what she was going to walk into. It's like she looked inside first, thought of the quip, and then walked in.
Yeah.
And this is where we hear about the scooter being wrecked.
Right.
And she says to him, and this is part that, you know, Skip, I'm really shocked because I never thought you were a vandal.
And why would she have thought that? I mean, his entire history is destroying things and pranking.
His whole character is,
Yeah.
I'm a guy who destroys property for the lulz.
Yeah.
And she goes, I never thought you'd be the type who
I thought
destroys
you were
property.
above that.
Yeah, she really, this is
She's
where...
a bad judge of character.
Yeah, like, she never really knew him at all.
No.
I'm not on anybody's side anymore. And we discovered that his scooter, Wesley's scooter, not Wesley's scooter, Jeremy's scooter, all these generic white boy names. Chad's scooter is destroyed and up in a tree.
Right.
And everyone's gathered around like they found a body looking at this scooter. And he goes, I don't remember doing that. Did we do that? And that's when, I believe that's when the security guy comes by.
Yes. He comes back.
Paul Blart
shows up.
And we really are treating this like this was a high crime.
Yeah. They're taking it more seriously than the disappearance of Pauly Shore.
Like most people would.
Well, that's true.
And, he starts threatening the boys. Paul Blart, that is.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, once we get enough evidence, I'm going to take you guys out. Meanwhile, the Ghoulies have noticed that his golf cart's electric.
Right.
And so they start rigging with the wiring a little bit.
And they must feed off electricity or something.
Surely.
Yeah.
That's what gives them their power. And so what happens, Molly? Is... when Paul Blart finishes his threat, he gets back in his golf cart, and wouldn't you know it, he gets electrocuted.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But for some reason, with this character, rules of physics don't apply.
No.
And he gets electrocuted, and then he's just sort of covered in soot with his hair sticking up.
And this isn't the first time that really happens either.
No. It gets even worse later. And, of course, the Ghoulies are like, prank week, prank week.
We should say that Tanner has just stepped into the room
Hey, Tanner.
for
Yelling in the background.
the next episode we're recording today. And Tanner told me on the way up here, though, that he has an anecdote about Ghoulies, which we will have to get at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
So.
Well, actually, I feel like now is a good time since he just
Yeah.
walked in. Tanner, come here. Grab my microphone.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Tanner on Ghoulies 3.
So, Tanner, what's your Ghoulies anecdote?
Okay, so when I was a kid...
Oh,
right,
here it
little
is.
kid,
He's the kid who watched them.
This is back in the day when like video stores were like all indie mom and pa shops. My dad went to the video store to like get movies for the weekend, and he's like, "What's a good movie for a kid?" And the guy at the
This is
counter was like,
exactly what I was saying. Like, this is amazing.
I don't know, I haven't seen it, but this Ghoulies movie looks like a kid's movie. It's like puppets. So my dad rented me Ghoulies when I was probably 7 or 8.
This is Tanner. This is exactly what I said before we started this episode. Is I don't know anybody that ever saw Ghoulies, but I imagine some parent rented it for their kid because it sounded like Gremlins.
It's exactly the same reason why I saw Toxic Avenger when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
And
because it looks like it might be a kid's movie.
But
you got
it's
introduced to boobs in your Ghoulie movie.
Please. I'd been introduced to boobs way before that.
But it's just like, whoa, this was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And as a kid, you're like, good choice, Dad. Can you get the sequel? Or
I think, actually, I think I watched all of Ghoulies. But I think a Toxic Avenger, I think I got like 30 minutes in and I stopped the tape. and told my dad, "Dad, I don't think this movie's for kids."
But I'll take Ghoulies too.
I'll take Ghoulies.
Yeah. So have you seen any of the other Ghoulies movies?
I've seen Ghoulies 2 quite a bit. Quite
a bit.
Well, I think that I've told the story before. Is I had a gadgety uncle that hooked us up with like a satellite dish with free pay-per-view.
Okay.
And that was at the time that I think Ghoulies 2 was like in heavy rotation.
Okay.
So I watched it because that's one in the amusement park, right?
I don't know. I've never
Yeah,
seen
Ghoulies
it.
2. Yep. Yeah, I've seen that one probably legitimately at least 10 times.
Have you ever seen Ghoulies 3? Ghoulies
No,
Go to College?
back to college. Back
No,
to
it's just
school?
go to college.
Oh, they
Not
just go to
that.
college.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm thinking Rodney Dangerfield.
Back to
Yeah.
school.
Back to school.
Imagine Rodney with a couple Ghoulies
That's what
around
this
him.
movie was
Lindy.
missing.
So here's the thing, Tanner, is that what you've missed with this franchise is now in Ghoulies 3, they talk and they make jokes.
Are they voiced by any prominent voice actors?
Yes.
Maurice LaMarche.
No.
No. Who else we got? Megatron.
No.
Optimus.
No.
Well, who then? Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. I'm gonna give the mic back to
No.
Bobby, and I'm gonna go sit on the couch.
Okay.
No, Tanner. The famous voice actor was actually Richard Kind.
Oh,
Bing bong.
yeah, all right.
So where are you guys in the Ghoulies 3 at this
Paul
point?
Blart just got
He
electrocuted
just got blown up.
in his
Lord.
golf cart.
Yeah, to death.
Well,
dies.
seemingly.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He lives.
Because we live in the cartoon world
Yeah,
of Ghoulies
he-
3.
He gets to turn to the camera and be like, Frank Wake.
So then we go to Kevin McCarthy's reading Ghoulish Tales again. It's clear they only had one day to shoot with him. Is what I put at this point because
Yeah.
like he's never leaving this office.
Right.
It's like they had him for one day.
And this is where we establish how to stop the Ghoulies.
Right.
Because they start getting insubordinate because they've been at college a little bit and they start
getting
defying
smart.
authority. They're like, we got to listen to you, man. And he goes, oh, and he holds a lighter up
Well,
to the comic book.
We should say that they appear in his office with that taxidermy goat from earlier.
Yeah.
From
for
the
no
satanic
reason.
ritual.
Yeah, it's just magically in the scene because it was so funny the first time. You got to get it in there.
Which is to imply that when he teleported them back, they were beginning to do something to that taxidermy goat.
Remember,
Well,
they are horny.
Yeah, he did get
They
the
are the
napkin.
horniest.
He got the napkin that said horny. So you got to fit it in somewhere, man.
Yeah, that's what horniness works.
And no woman in this movie agreed to have a ghoulie anywhere near them.
It's the goat for you, ghoulies.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
Goat for Ghoulie.
goat for ghoulie.
We're starting a charity.
Goats for
Everyone who's
Ghoulies.
on our Patreon, a percentage is going towards goats for ghoulies.
So yes, Bobby, that's when he threatens to light the magazine on fire, and they learn that he has control over them because if he controls the book, he controls the ghoulies. There's nothing you can do.
First you get the comic, then you get the power.
Now, Tanner, in the other Ghoulies movies, does the comics play any part of it?
I honestly don't remember. I don't
Okay.
think so.
I'm
It
willing to
doesn't
bet
sound
no.
familiar.
I'm willing to bet there was never a magic comic book.
No.
Is there anything to do with a toilet in Ghoulies 2?
Yes.
Do
But
they
they
get
didn't-
trapped in a toilet at the end of Ghoulies too?
No.
Because in this one, they come out of a
Right,
like
that's their
ceremonial
portal, right?
toilet.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
carved ivory toilet.
Well, that sounds fancy.
Yeah.
How did they come out of the... Wait, where did they come from in 2?
In 2, I think they come out of a toilet. That seems right. That doesn't seem wrong.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
thing we talked about earlier with the poster art, and they added a scene where a ghoulie attacks a guy's ass from the
But
toilet.
maybe it was just it just happenstance, like he comes out of the toilet because it made
Yeah.
sense or something.
I think
for the
by
scene?
this point,
I think that sense you just said makes less sense than this movie. Okay. He came out of the toilet because that makes sense.
because they've associated the ghoulies as the toilet monsters at this point.
Yeah,
Oh, for
they're
sure.
clearly toilet monsters. They're saying all things like what a dump, all sorts of stuff. Also, they're talking through the whole movie, which they didn't do in any other Ghoulies
It was
movie,
new.
apparently.
They're talking and slapping each other around constantly, like the Three Stooges.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the Three Stooges go to college, only they're ghoulies.
and they're horny. They're really
so
horny.
horny.
Really horny. Yeah.
You've never seen a hornier ghoulie.
No, you don't.
You can buy it for the same price.
You can
Yeah.
watch it for free on Vudu.
I'll do that.
So then, that's when he tells them, like, if I burn the book, you guys are gone.
And
they
so
gotta
he
listen
has
to
a
him.
mission for them now that they've established who's in charge of this shit. He goes, "You boys need to get me the prank crown,
Yeah.
because
Go
once
on.
I have the prank crown, I can start a war to end all frat wars."
Yeah, he needs Jughead's hat.
With
to
Jughead's
end
hat,
this
I
war.
can not only end all frat wars, I can start a war that'll end all frats. Bum bum bum.
There is one part when Mo says, "Gee, what a ball buster."
Yeah.
So then the Ghoulies are back in Powder's frat house, and then Weasley just get the prank crowd. There's not much to
grab
that
it.
scene.
That's fine.
They just grab it. So then we go to Erin. She's leaving her room.
Oh boy! And then Mr. Embarkus shows up. Paul Blart.
Yeah, Paul
He's
Blart's
recovered
here.
from his electrocution death. And she goes,
Oh, boy.
hey, what brings you here? And he goes, in a word,
He's also, by the way, upstairs in the sorority house.
Right.
He is in the
He's
house.
already in the house.
like last
Upstairs.
time.
Yeah.
Because we only have the one shot.
There's no
Yeah.
exterior of the sorority house.
Because
No,
it's the same house that the fraternity boys are in.
Just a different room.
Yeah. So she goes, what are you doing here? And he goes, what do you want? And he goes, in a word, your panties.
2 words.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And he goes, no, because there's going to be a panty raid tonight.
And
I'm going to get the panties from you, so
you
the
should
guys
give them
can't...
all to me.
And
Yeah.
I'll keep them really safe.
And
Until
I'll give them
Monday.
back on Monday. Earlier, when we first met him, we established that this guy has a history of liking wearing women's underwear.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
There's a bit of
that's true.
dialogue, just real throwaway.
Doctor's
just like,
orders.
Hey, you still wearing women's underwear? He goes, it's doctor's orders. Hey, you know. And so this is his kink. He wants to wear people's panties.
Yeah. And so she's like,
I don't
excuse
think he
me.
would fit.
No.
Because and this establishes that every human male and non-human character in this has to sexually harass Aaron.
Yeah.
Of course. But that's when she's like, isn't your cart horn going off right now? And he's like, what? Oh, no. And so he runs outside to see what's going on. But, oh, no, the Ghoulies have stolen the golf cart.
Oh, those Ghoulies.
And because they're drunk, and apparently the old Ghoulie keeps saying how he shouldn't have eaten those chili fries. He says that about 9 times.
So now
'Cause he's
this
gonna
horny
barf.
drunk Ghoulie has to shit.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was that he's barfing because Mo is driving so bad and
That's
like
probably
going
it.
all over. Because it looks like they're going to barf. And I was like, I do want to see a Ghoulie barf. But
Yeah,
then
what does Ghoulie barf look like?
Yeah, but we cut away. We just hear it like go, "Ugh," and we don't even get to see it.
We
No
could-
projectile Ghoulie barf?
I just imagine John Carl Beekler is just like, do we have the Ghoulie barf? They're like, it's not here yet, sir.
No.
I don't know what happened.
It's
It's
still
not
drying.
here. He's like,
The
fuck it,
producer-
we can't do it. We don't have time.
The producer canceled the Ghoulie barf scene and went with the Ghoulie boner scene.
Yeah.
He was just like,
We
no.
can have
Well,
one.
it wasn't a full-on boner. It was a half chub.
Yeah, it is.
It's most a Ghoulie can do. Without Blue Chew, this episode is
They
brought
decided
to
a raging boner was too much.
Oh,
you. Get Ghoulie hard with Blue Chew.
so we go back to
Imagine
Powder.
if it was 3D. That's what this.
That should have been part 4.
Yeah, the Ghoulie waves it in front of the camera, and everybody in the audience is ducking.
Whoa.
So we go back to Powder's frat house. Powder and the boys, the P-boys, come in all excited. They like one of the P-boys comes in and is all excited. He found a blow-up doll. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, check out what I found!" Like they're all gonna fuck it. or
Probably.
something.
Happened in King Frat.
Powder's like, "Hey, man, what's more important is that the fucking crown is missing," and they're all like, "Oh no!" So they know
You
it's
make a new one out of construction paper.
yeah. But they know it's the fucking betas that did it, so they're gonna get them back, right? So we cut to Erin in the darkest library of all time studying, right?
She's in a haunted library.
Yeah, it looks like the fucking library from Ghostbusters.
I was thinking that too.
And the librarian, by the way, is here, and Bobby, the librarian, is played by
What's her first name?
Edna Krabappel.
It's Edna Krabappel.
yeah, it is Edna Krabappel.
Wallace
from,
is her last name, and I don't remember her first name. But if anyone's a Simpsons fan,
Marcia.
Marsha Wallace.
Yes, she is playing the character of the librarian in this movie. She is really slumming it.
She has very little to do in this.
This is
She hadn't
1990.
Yeah, she
Like-
had been in Teen Witch.
She had been in The Simpsons.
Yeah, she'd already started her lifelong role of Mrs. Krabappel.
Yeah. And she somehow decided I'll appear in Ghoulies 3 on
Hey, why
the
not?
off season for the
special
Simpsons.
effect with her though is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because she probably went, like, okay, what are we doing in this movie? And they slid her a napkin. And she went, oh.
Oh. Wait, we slid her the wrong one. And so then that's when College Coulier comes in with some coffee for Aaron. He's like, hey, I'm here. I wouldn't drink anything he has, by the way.
Absolutely not.
He's got all sorts of like squeeze bottles and shit with him. I'm like, what the
Always.
fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Always got like squeeze bottles and a fucking belt.
He's ready to go. He's like Batman with a utility belt. But yeah, if there was a character you would not accept an open drink from.
Yeah. No.
Like, no, I need to be able to break the seal myself.
And he brought multiple drinks, like, so she has a choice. Like, you want coffee, tea? I got it all.
Yeah.
Like, he's got every one, right?
Well, actually, he offers her coffee, and she goes, tea. I drink tea.
And then he
Because
says,
again, they don't know each other.
but then they pull that into a whole pun game for a bit. They kind of yank each other off.
I mean, this is really what they bonded over, was
Yeah.
they both love wordplay.
They both love wordplay.
But he's
they
there
both
to
love
explain to
yanks.
her that, like, look, I'm a new man. I'm
Is
not
he?
the prank king anymore. I mean, he's going to attempt to renounce all this.
Well, that's what he says without any like things before or any
there's
lesson
no reason
learned.
for this turning point.
Yeah, he just goes, for now on, I'm a good student. I may even be Kevin McCarthy's friend at some point.
Because he's trying to fix things with her. He wants a life with her, and to do that, he's got to give up yanking.
But again,
Yeah.
he already had this opportunity before, and he squandered it multiple times.
No,
Yeah.
This time's different, Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
But he
changed
didn't
yanker.
even have to change. He could have had the opportunity before.
Yeah. You're right. He didn't
As who-
have to
as
change.
who he
She
was.
liked
Yeah.
him as the
Yeah.
prank king. Just fucking show up to the date.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck it. They have a day tomorrow date. Okay. The scene ends
Yeah.
like they have a date. So we go back to Kevin McCarthy. He's in his office. The Ghoulies come in. They deliver the crown. And this is the worst joke in the movie, in my opinion, is they drop the crown into his lap from above him. And they say, hey, is that a prank crown in your lap, or are you happy to see us? It's not even pitching a tent or anything.
It's
How is
literally
it
just an object they put on his crotch.
It doesn't work for a boner joke if it doesn't create a boner.
I guess you have to be a ghoulie to really get it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he
I mean,
misunderstood.
who knows what a ghoulie boner actually looks like?
Do you
Probably like a prank crown.
Do you
Yeah.
think at some point the producers on set during this
Yeah, it
part,
probably has
he's
like
just-
spurs and stuff.
Yeah, a ghoulie dick looks like a foot.
He's the producer sees the take when they just toss it into his lap. He goes, cut, hornier.
I said hornier.
And they're like, well, what do you want us to do? They can't fuck McCarthy. And he's like, Kevin, will you? No, he's not doing that.
No, there weren't even words there. They went, well, he can't fuck McCarthy. And then there was a slow turn to Kevin.
He just shakes his head no. He's like, well, we're going to have to do some sort of horn joke here.
Okay. When you give him the crown, say something about his dick.
Yeah,
I don't
gotta
care
be
what
something.
it is. We got to move on.
It doesn't even work. It doesn't. There's no bone or anything. No, it's good. The tent joke always works.
Hey,
always.
happy to see me. Done. Moving on.
So then that's when Kevin McCarthy stands up. He goes, great. Now I want you to kill me. And
I
they're
think
like,
he's done with this movie.
they look at him. They go, what? And then he's like, no, I want you to kill me because I read in that Ghoulie comic that if you kill me, I will meld with you and I will become McCarthy Ghoulie.
Yeah.
I want to be a ghoulie. I want to be horny.
Yeah. And by the way, this is when you know McCarthy was having a good time because he is going overboard in his performance
yeah.
at this point.
Yeah. Not fuck the back row. He's playing to the parking lot.
Oh, he's having such a good time too. And then he locks the book in the drawer and he's like, well, you got to do what I say. I'm not giving you the book back.
That's right.
Kill me. And then that's when Edna Krabappel just comes into the room and she's like, hey, I found that stuff you were looking for about that Ghoulish Tales book right here. Here's the history of it. Oh my God, what is that horny thing? And there's just a fucking horned up ghoulie just standing right by her.
Yeah.
It's the old one. And Molly, he grabs her tongue.
Yeah. And wraps it, like pulls it way out and then wraps it all around her head and neck.
This is like a Beetlejuice thing.
It was cool.
Yeah. And she like spins around and I guess she dies by tongue being pulled.
Well,
She,
I
like,
think the
strangled
first
herself.
wrap went around her neck, and,
Yeah.
and then they went around her shoulders and arms a couple times. But generally, I think we are to believe she got asphyxiated by her own tongue.
And Kevin McCarthy's all pissed about it. And he's like, "Yeah, she's not the one I want you to kill. Go kill the frat boys. Just go kill the frat boys." And so that's it.
And he teleports them away.
So now we cut to, I've always forget
Hell
this guy's
Squad.
name. I just call him Rando.
Rando.
Mookie.
Mookie, Fatty, and Data. And they are trying to break into the sorority house for the big panty raid.
Yeah.
And the girls are ready to attack this year, though.
Hell Squad's ready, man.
Because they're inside, and this girl who's leading it, who we never see again, she's just like, this year we're going to take those motherfuckers down. She's got like a bat in her hand and everything.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
we are going to fucking kill them when they come in here.
Like, hell yeah.
And they're like, this is the last time they take our best panties and fly them up the flagpole. Fuck them.
But Veronica's not interested.
Wouldn't it just be easier if they just wore the panties?
Yeah,
Put 'em
just
all
all
on?
of them.
Yeah.
Like layer them?
Yeah.
All 20 of them.
Raid this, pal.
Yeah.
All padded out like a dog attack suit.
Right.
I don't know how many pairs of panties a woman owns.
The reason Veronica doesn't care is because she's like 30.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of these girls
To be clear,
are
I don't think
20.
we mentioned her name yet. Veronica is the sexy blonde lady, the one
Yeah.
who is seducing everyone.
Who is clearly not in college. She looks older than everybody else in the movie.
Well, she's like the sorority mom.
Maybe she is. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like the Muggsy of the,
She's
the
the
sorority
Muggsy.
house. Yeah. Well, she comes home. They're like, Veronica, aren't you going to get ready for the panty raid? She's like, no, I got a date tonight. I don't care about that shit.
And so she's got to go get ready for the date. And by that, I mean strip for no one.
Yeah,
She
well-
goes up to her room, puts on music, and starts taking it off.
When you were a single lady, you must have done this a lot, right?
Every night.
This is what girls do,
This
Holly?
is what girls do.
Take the window, open it up, right?
Yeah, at night.
At night.
Yeah.
Turn on some tunes, rockin' tunes, right?
And just wait for the ladder to press
Just
against
wait for the
building.
ghoulie to show up.
Yeah.
Just in case there's some frat boys or some ghoulies
Yeah.
peeking in from the tree outside.
Yeah. But actually, it's not either of them that's peering in, Bobby.
No.
It's
Well, it's the fat guy.
no.
That wasn't the fat guy.
No, it's the cop.
Oh,
Yeah.
wrong fat guy. Sorry.
It's Paul Blart.
Paul Blart is up
Paul
in the tree.
Blart is the one staring through the window.
And he's got a yank in mind.
Oh, yeah, he does.
But before he can, one of the ghoulies, like fucking Bugs Bunny, pulls out a saw and cuts the branch he's slitting up.
That's when I said, I think I'm on the ghoulie side. Like, at this point, I thought they were good. And then a second later, I go, oh, no, actually, they're not. Because then they just stare at her. Is this the part when the guy says he's got a half chub? Or
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when Richard Kind has to go into the booth and go, I'm sporting a half chub.
It's just-
It's
Wow.
something that they decided to make them talk.
Yeah, I'm
With
glad
dialogue
they did.
like that.
Like, I keep going back and forth on whether that's a mistake.
Hornier, Richard, hornier.
Make it hornier. My dick's hard. Okay, too horny.
Horny. Half. Call it a chubby.
Oh, that's great. That's such good shit.
At the same time this is going on, the boys, right? The beta boys, they break into the house. They go to grab this because they were watching this girl. She like cleverly put a giant thing of panties on a laundry machine because all the girls washed their panties together, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Just community.
Molly, when you
wash.
were single, did you
Yes.
call up your friends
All
to be
my
like, hey, who
roommates,
needs to
we
wash panties?
shared underwear.
Yeah. It's always fun sorting them out after they're all
You don't
done
even
through
bother.
the dryer.
It's just a free for all.
Oh, okay. You just wear whatever.
Yeah.
One size fits all.
One size fits all.
They're stretchy, Mike.
So that's when they're like, oh, this can't even be any better. And then they go in and, oh my God, Bobby.
Why he's immediately hit with the bat, and she just wails on him until he's a pile of pink goo.
No.
Oh, no, I watched a different cut. I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's not what happens.
here's the thing is like, while they lose, the beta boys actually win.
Yeah.
Because
apparently their defense against the panty raid is a topless pillow fight.
The opposite of what I thought made most sense. Like, you should put on all the panties, not none of the panties.
yeah, because at some point they're like, did they also steal bras in the panty raid, or is it just panties? So we might as well take those
Well,
off too.
You don't want to separate them?
There is no advantage to not wearing a bra.
No,
There's none.
But a bunch of topless women come out and hit them with pillows, and they're acting like this is a bad thing. Like they've won. They've won.
Yeah.
They have won.
Like they've now been entered into a sex game with the sorority. Because everyone's getting naked and we're getting physical, and they're like, "No, damn it! I
Yeah.
just wanted to steal panties and go home."
and they run. They run. And I'm like, dude,
what's wrong with you?
I don't think you realized, like,
And it's not
You
like
won.
it's not like they hid bricks in the pillows and were like,
No.
"You son of a bitch!" No, they were all giggling and bouncing around, and like, this is the idea.
like, could you imagine if College Ghoulie, because he wasn't here, and they explained this to him? They're like, no, we had to run. Why? Because a bunch of topless girls came out and hit us with pillows.
And like rolled around with us.
Yeah, they
got the hell
trying
out
to.
of
They
there.
kept trying to touch us.
Fucking
with
girls,
their-
man. Ew.
with their cootie hands.
They kept trying to give us half chubs.
Look, we never saw Wes again. That's the last person we saw let a girl touch him.
You know, actually,
He's gone now.
the interesting thing is, like, none of these guys ever want to associate.
These
with
are
girls.
asexual beings.
Yeah.
It's true. They're less horny than the Ghoulies.
They only care about pranks.
That's
Ghoulies
They're
have
horny
to
for pranks.
They're horny for pranks and alcohol. The ghoulies have to teach them how to horn.
This
That's
is
true.
the back and forth. They teach the ghoulies how to prank,
Yeah.
and the ghoulies teach them
how to horn.
How to horn.
Now, guys, if you didn't get the 2001 reference earlier, we'll get it again. As the Ghoulies go into the shower
I mean, it's a
room.
fair comparison between these two movies.
Yeah, I'd say so. Kubrick was a huge fan of Ghoulies 3.
Is it true that Kubrick faked the panty raid?
You know, if he didn't pass away,
I have a whole documentary about it.
if he didn't pass away, I heard he was in line to direct Ghoulies 5.
Like, remember that alternate scene in The Shining where Jack opens the bathroom door and there's a ghoulie in there? I gotta have a jump, Jack.
They weren't droogs, they were ghoulies.
Guys, actually, funny thing. The thing that was talking to Danny the whole movie, actually the ghoulie.
That's it.
Danny...
He had a ghoulie in his finger.
Yeah, he had a ghoulie.
More horn. More horn.
Oh, God. No.
Daddy isn't here right now, Mrs. Torrance. I'm sporting half a chub. Half a chub, Mrs. That's why his finger was only bent a little.
What if the whole movie Danny was just saying Ghoulies line?
Frank Week, Frank Week.
Jack, we gotta take him to a doctor. He's fine. He's fine. He's at that age.
And Scatman knew. He sensed the ghoulies were in there.
Yeah. Well, Scatman did have that topless velvet painting above his bed, and he knew right away. He's like, oh,
He
no.
understood the way of the horn.
He'd already been. He went to school with the ghoulies.
So no, they sneak into the shower room, and if for some reason the ghoulies decide their plan to get a lady in the shower, which is Veronica, is that they're gonna dress in a trench coat.
Yeah.
But the point of it doesn't make any sense because they're like, no, this will work great. But then they just open the shower door, she screams, and they put a plunger in her face.
It worked.
Which
Yeah.
I'm like, they could have just done that as short.
That's true.
Like, I thought they were going to pretend to be a guy. Like, I thought he was going to pretend to be one of the guys and hit on her.
Like the kid in BoJack.
Yeah, and this is where we were finally going to see...
Like, you never get the reveal.
Yeah.
But this is where we were going to see the ghoulie sex scene.
Oh, right. Well,
This is gonna happen.
kind of do.
Funny thing that happens here, though.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
plunger attack.
Is there?
Yeah. The ghoulie quips before they attack her with the plunger. Wanna suck face?
Wow.
Nightmare 4.
Oh, no.
Freddy
no.
kills a teenager and quips, wanna suck face?
Well,
It's all connected,
their
man.
Freddy moment.
The
They
Nightmare
were
4
trying to-
Ghoulies 3 connection continues.
They're like, look, for Ghoulies 5, maybe Freddy has a couple friends. Just saying. You know, now that Freddy's cracking jokes, what better than a pair of few imps to hang around him, huh? I mean, I'd probably be more scared to see a ghoulie in my dream than Freddy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at this point.
Yeah.
And if we recall, previous episode, King Frat, Freddy was part of that frat.
That's true, actually.
It's all connected.
Oh, man. So we're going to the next day now, right? And so Paul Blart pulls up. He's pissed at College Coulier because he's like, you did something with my cart. And College Coulier's like, it wasn't me. And the cop's like, I get my eye on you. And then College Coulier just kind of runs off. And then Paul Blart just crashes into a light pole while trying to look at a college student's
Yeah,
butt.
he's rubbernecking.
Yeah. And he crashes into a light pole. So then College Coulier finds Erin at school, and she mentions their date for the night. Like, he mentions it. He's like, hey, how about our date for tonight?
And she
She's
goes,
like,
we had a date.
whoa, what happened?
You know, the date I made last night was with a guy who swore he'd stop yanking. Oh, grow up, Mike. You ghoulie. Look at you laughing.
And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, that panty raid last night. He's like, what panty raid? I wasn't a part of it. And she's
And
like,
this is interesting logic. She goes, yeah, you may not have been a part of it, but you didn't stop them from doing it. And you didn't warn me.
no, I agree. He is the leader of that frat.
That's true.
There's no way he wouldn't have known that his boys were planning on doing the panty raid they do every year.
But he says, no, I was in the library all night studying to be a good student and everything. And
I was
she's
helping
like,
an old lady across the street.
yeah. And she's like, yeah, we're not going on a date anymore. Also, my whole wardrobe is ruined. Which didn't think
Your
they got
friends
any-
took all of my
Yeah.
panties.
Well, apparently the Ghoulies did. Because the other boys, they weren't successful. They were successful, but they got the cooties and they ran.
Yeah.
So do you think at any point the Ghoulies got in a pillow fight and that went a little too horny? Can't show it.
Yeah.
Can't show it. We got to cut this.
Pillow fight.
Well, the MPAA, bunch of cucks, telling me I got to cut out this Ghoulie
Well,
sex
these
scene.
ghoulies
where
were putting pillows on their laps and then running at each other.
there's a big Ghoulie orgy. They had to cut it out.
You got to ask Shane and Terry about it. They can tell you how it works.
So then the boys roll up with College Coulier. They're like, hey, what's going on? He's like, what the fuck happened? And they're like, oh, man. Well, we tried to do a panty raid, but all these topless girls hit us with pillows.
It was
It
horrible.
got sexy, and we couldn't do
They
it.
got the cooties on us, and we had to run. And he's just kind of staring.
He doesn't know what to say
What
about
the
this.
fuck?
Like, guys.
So that's when the girls come up and they go, we got your clothes. And apparently they even ripped off the boys' clothes during that scrum.
Which we never saw.
No, but they still didn't get the point
We're
of it.
retconning the
Yeah.
memory of that happening.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my clothes are off with a bunch of naked girls around.
Apparently, Lillard got left behind and just
Yeah.
got stripped nude by these girls.
They hung him up whole by the pole.
Oh my God.
But they're like, now they're
Is that
gonna
Matthew Lillard on a pole?
now we're gonna salute your shorts. Basically, we're gonna
Yeah.
put them up the flagpole. No. Then we go back to McCarthy's class. He's now teaching a class on evil and power
This is great
Monday.
because he is being warped by this power.
Oh, yeah.
And we know this because, like, half his shirt's untucked.
Yeah, and he's got a half chub.
He's got a half chub. He's got, like, remnants of a donut on his face or whatever. It's looking... They're trying to set it up like he's
His
kind
hair
of...
is disheveled.
He's rotting. You
Yeah.
know, like his skin's getting bad.
And he's going on about how evil is great and how it gets all this power. And then Aaron says something like, I don't believe in evil. I think like good triumphs or something.
Yeah, like good will always defeat evil.
Yeah, and he just looks at her and he's just like, shut the fuck
You
up.
stupid kid. And, but suddenly his desk detonates.
Yeah.
And
Well-
we cut to Powder, and he's got the fucking, like, he's got the government attaché. He's got the metal briefcase open with the buttons that he pressed.
We
to
should
make
say
that
the
thing happen.
setup is College Coulier says he defends Aaron. And that's when Kevin McCarthy gets in his face. He's like, I don't need to hear anything from the number one yanker on this campus. And he's like, no, I swear, I'm done with that.
I don't yank anymore.
While he's saying that.
As he's
I
saying
yanked
that.
it all out.
Yeah, yanked it all out.
He's all yanked out. And while he's saying that, the desk explodes.
Yeah,
Sort
powder
of.
explodes
like
the desk.
A small controlled explosion makes it fall apart. And
By the way, this is like the old movie. Like, he's got like a full fucking antenna that comes out of this thing. And like,
he set up like a remedial laptop.
it's very obvious who did this.
He's sitting there hitting buttons and laughing while he does it.
And he's got a 5-foot antenna sticking out of this fucking thing.
And but after the desk explodes, why Dean McCarthy follows the wires, follows the trail back to Coulier's desk, where he finds a big red button taped underneath it.
Yeah. It must have been him.
I mean, the fix is in.
And so he tells Coulier, you're out. You're out of college. You know, you failed. You're done. Get the fuck out of here. And there's all this stupid shit where Coulier, like, gives all these speeches before he's leaving, you know?
Oh, he does the Jerry Maguire,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
who's with me? And the BZTs all stand up and start singing their anthem
Yeah.
to walk
'Cause
out
they're
with him.
fucking idiots.
Because, I mean, they're the real betas of this. Their leader's leaving, so I
Yeah.
guess they're out too.
So they all leave, and everybody else in the class is like, I don't care.
The extras are bored.
So then the Ghoulies are taking a shit and speaking in an Indian accent.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't get
know.
that part at all.
That's my note, and that's what happens is one of the Ghoulies is
The
taking a
Ghoulies
shit.
take a racist shit.
Yeah, and the other one's doing an apu, and that's it.
And then we cut away. It was like an outtake that somebody thought was funny.
At one point, the old Ghoulie says, Richard Kind, right? He says, we should go. And I go, yeah,
Wrap this up.
we should go.
That was the booth was still recording when he said that.
Yeah.
And they're like, I guess we'll have the Ghoulie say it.
So then College Coulier and the boys just basically recant the whole plot because nobody in the audience is too fucking smart to realize what was going on the whole movie. Is they're like, remember, this is a prank war.
Yes, we
Yeah.
know. You've said it
And this-
50 times.
For those just joining us in this movie that never went theatrical.
Okay, but this is where sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So they recap all this, and this gets interesting because they're like, we gotta get back at these gammas.
This is
They
when
got our leader thrown out of school.
I was ready to jump out of my chair at this point and go, yes. When Mookie pulled out a gun.
You know what we gotta do? You know what we gotta do? And he pulls out his gun.
He pulls out like a German
Like a
gun.
fucking Luger. He's like, okay, all right, yeah, let's take it there. Why not?
Because that's what College Coulier says. He's like, oh, yeah, and then he goes, it's a glue gun.
Yeah,
and
it
he's
turns
like,
out this is a squirt
Yeah.
gun that's filled with Ghoulie glue, or what's it called? Goofy glue.
which I go, hold on though, you filled a gun with glue.
So now the gun's useless.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay liquid till it hits your desired. But okay, and but they get into an argument because he's turned over a new leaf. He's a different guy now, and he says, "Damn it, I haven't pulled a yank in days." I'm like, well, you need to chill, man. You need to let one out. He goes, we just threw away our entire college careers trying to win back a goddamn tinfoil crown. And that's a valid point.
It's true.
He's right. But Mookie, like,
Oh, God,
his face
this is so
falls,
amazing.
and he's just like, I used to think you were so cool.
You know whose fault this is? Women.
That's really what
It's the women's fault. As he goes, that girl has corrupted your mind. You're not yanking it all anymore. You're not hanging
You
out
stop
with the
yanking
boys.
once you got a girlfriend.
Yeah. Now you're just thinking about that girl. What about Mookie? What about the boys? What about yanking it together like we used to?
And Mookie is acting like he was in love with Ghoulie.
Oh, he is.
Oh, yeah,
He is.
definitely.
He's just like, what?
It's not a half at this point. It's full mast. This is when I thought they were going to make out. Like, I really thought him and Mookie and College Coulier were just going to say, you know what, you're right. And they make out together and they run off and do yanks together.
Man, what an ending.
Yeah.
But no, they get in a fight. And the fight is so weak. It's like he just pushes Mookie a little bit and he goes, ugh, and falls on a couch. And he's like, you think you're so cool.
Yeah. Well, Directive 4, Mookie can't act against Skip. Skip's the leader of the Beta Zeta Thetas. He'll shut down if he tries to hit him.
And then they leave him, and College Coulier just kind of turns towards the camera and goes, what else could go wrong today?
And that's when we cut to the Dean going, kill Skip Carter.
Yeah, kill him. Kill Coulier.
I want you Ghoulies to murder Coulier.
And this is when I was like, oh, I'm on McCarthy's side. He understands.
Yeah.
They all have to die.
They do.
Everyone has to die.
And so this is when Aaron walks in at just the right time and overhears that that Powder's been behind all these pranks that she was blaming Skip for.
Yeah.
That Jeremy's been setting him up.
Well, they should know never to have a private conversation at the one hall in the school with the vending machine.
The whole cast is in that room. I don't know why you would try to have a... But so she responds that by walking up to him and pouring his coffee down his pants.
And she says...
She scalded his penis.
What are you crying about? That's the first below-the-pants stimulation you've had in weeks.
Wah, wah.
Boom.
Coffee to the crotch.
And so Jeremy looks off into the middle distance and goes, that Carter's gonna pay.
So everybody wants to kill Dave Coulier, and
No matter what happens in this movie, it's Coulier's fault.
So we go back to College Coulier. He's standing in his room looking at the mirror, calling himself a dumbass.
About right.
He's looking in a mirror, and he goes, dumbass. And that's when Aaron shows up, and they do like all sorts of Hitler jokes and Hitler use shit again. And that's when we realize, like, he's talking to her, and they're like kind of going through. They're like, I forgive you, I forgive you. And that's when he pulls up his hand, and he's got the gun in it.
Because the glue had gotten the gun stuck to his hand.
Yeah, I thought they were just going to die together at this point.
He's like, I got an idea, babe. You know what? I've yanked my last prank.
But then she goes and
If I
she's
can't
like,
have the crown, no one can.
But then she's like all about it. She's like, yeah, you are the Prince of Yanks, and like they're all.
She's done a complete like.
Yeah.
Once she found out that that some of the Yanks weren't done by him, her mind went, he doesn't do them anymore.
Yeah.
He hasn't done any of the ones I got mad about.
She realized she could be the queen of pranks.
It's the power grab. This is Game of Thrones.
You're right. She'd be the Cersei
Yeah.
of this campus. So then, basically,
she's got 3 ghoulies like it's 3 dragons. She's like the
Daenerys.
She's like Daenerys.
So now the ghoulies
She's
are
just naked with 3 ghoulies.
the ghoulies are trying to find a way to kill College Coulier, which I hope they do. And then apparently we cut back to College Coulier and Aaron, and they've had sex.
They're under the sheets. They're finishing up.
Sex with a dustbuster?
Yeah, that's the implication that they're finishing up, they're giggling, they're having a good time, and then he pulls up his hand and he's been holding a dustbuster the whole time.
Yeah. And that's when she goes,
Tanner's
hey,
over here nodding like he knows. Yeah. He's like, yeah, the dustbuster trick.
Yeah. And that
You guys own a dustbuster?
do not.
Buy one, guys.
That's a hot tip for your listeners. You want to reignite some magic in that relationship, you buy a dustbuster.
So in typical like Crown style fashion, we go, oh shit, we gotta have a plot. 10 minutes left. She goes, I found out that actually Powder set you up, College Coulier, and like you can go get back into school now. And he's like, oh, I gotta go tell the dean, president, teacher, whoever he might be.
Whatever he is.
Yeah. And he goes, but he'll never believe me. And she goes, I'll come with you.
He'll believe me.
So that's it, yeah. And then we go to some idiot from Powder's frat comes into
it's his Mookie, basically.
the beta frat with a cartoon bomb.
The spy versus spy bomb. That's the big Yankee's gonna pull. He's gonna blow up the frat.
The whole school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Fuck
he's
it.
got
We
a
die tonight.
cartoon bomb, and the Ghoulies are there, and he's like, one of the Ghoulies hits him in the face with a frying pan that has eggs and bacon in it.
Arranged like a smiley face.
Yeah. And I guess he hits him, and then the next thing we know is they catch the bomb, and they're like, oh, it's a bomb. A bomb!
And they throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Which causes it to bounce down the street. cartoonishly like the mop bucket earlier. Mm-hmm. And where does it stop? Wouldn't you know it?
Well, Paul Blart's having another rough day at the mall.
Lands right in his cart and he goes,
Right
oh, a
in
bomb. A bomb!
Yeah, and then he fucking blows up.
Like a death. He
Yeah.
blows up. There's a dummy that
and I
gets
was like,
destroyed.
Okay, so their actual plan was to kill everybody in the frat house?
They were just going to blow up the frat house.
Holy shit. And this is when I wrote my notes to go, who is this movie for?
Shit's escalating.
Like, who would enjoy this?
Radicalized incels.
Oh, okay. Okay.
People who are horny, Mike. And they don't know what to do about it.
Violently horny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they won't yank it.
Finally, a film for the violently horny.
So then College Ghoulie and
Now-
Aaron are in the darkest goddamn building I've ever seen.
One moment.
Okay.
Do we ever see the guy who got hit with the frying pan?
No, because I've seen the picture on
Okay,
IMDb.
because that's interesting. Let's talk about that for a second then, because it got cut from the film then.
Yeah.
We all agree we never see the guy who got clobbered with the frying pan.
Yeah.
They did a mock-up of a person whose head has been flattened and eyes and mouth are now eggs and bacon.
Yeah. They didn't
It's
put it
this
in the...
big, like, it looks like a claymation character.
He saved it for
Oh.
Ginger Dead Man.
It looks like the Ginger Dead Man. So we finally found the thing that was too stupid for Ghoulies 3.
Yeah. Not horny enough. It's not making me horny. Cut it out.
It made my dick soft.
So basically what
No
happens
chub.
I give this one 0 chubs.
They go into Kevin McCarthy's office, like, we're really winding it down now, and they stretch this movie out at the end so long. Is they go into Kevin McCarthy's office, they find Edna Krabappel dead in a sarcophagus in his office. They're all like, holy shit, there's been a murder. Then Powder catches them in the hallway.
And he
as
says,
they're
well, if
running
it
out.
isn't the two love turds.
That was a good one.
And now they're going to get him, right? But then
They
somehow...
start beating Skip up. Aaron breaks out of the guy holding her, and he yells, go get help! And she runs and gets to a phone, and she calls 411. And the operator's like, if there's been a murder, you really should call 911.
So then she calls 911 and it's like, there's been a murder. And then Kevin McCarthy appears behind her, takes the phone and says, it's prank week, officer.
And just hangs up.
Operator, I'm sorry. And then hangs it up. And that's when Powder tells College Ghoulie now that getting kicked out of school isn't enough. He wants him to go to prison.
And so the plan is they're going to set off an even bigger spy
hold
versus
on,
spy
hold
bomb.
on.
I will not.
How does College Ghoulie respond to that, Bobby?
What did he say?
Great. Now I can bunk with your mom.
Oh, shit. Got him.
Shots fucking fired.
You really
am
are
I
the
right?
king, Ghoulie.
I was like, I don't think you know how prisons work, but okay.
But, so yeah, they have this whole plan now. They're going to detonate a giant explosion. They're going to kill half this campus.
Yeah.
And when the authorities get there, they're going to find Ghoulie unconscious next to where it happened.
With a thing of TNT in his hand.
Yeah, they're going to put a cartoon stick of dynamite in his hand.
Yeah.
That says TNT
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
And that's how they'll know he's the mad bomber.
And so at the same time that this is happening, Kevin McCarthy and Aaron are in the library. The Ghoulies attack her. And like then when he hears her screaming, College Ghoulie breaks out and kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah, because he goes, "That's Aaron," and Powder goes, "I'm not falling for that. That's the oldest trick in the book."
And he goes, "No, she's in trouble."
And he goes, "The bitch ain't worth it."
And
And that's when
that's-
we do a slow zoom in on his eyes narrowing.
There was an episode of Full House, I think, where somebody said the bitch ain't worth it about Michelle, and
Yeah.
And then Danny Tanner went full sleeper agent.
when she fell
went
off that
Jason
horse.
Bourne.
when she fell off the horse, somebody says the bitch ain't worth it.
Danny told her to wear a helmet.
And you just heard in the back of Danny's mind, how rude. And then everything happened.
And so no, the Mag of the Ghoulies ever tied up on a table after
And
like
the old Ghoulie has given her the stamp of approval.
yeah, he keeps
Literally has a stamp he's like hitting her
yeah.
with.
Also, for some reason, her clothes are ripped now. We never saw that happen. But
They're horny, Mike.
Yeah. They're ripped with
Violently
horniness.
horny.
yeah, and you knew damn well she wasn't getting naked for this movie. She's
course.
like, nope. I did my Bikini Girl #4 on the Love Boat. Thank you very much. That's as
Love
much
Boat
as
Christmas special.
Yeah.
But in yet another Kubrick
part two.
reference.
Cold, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. In another Kubrick reference.
Maybe it was a wool bikini.
Skip tears down the door.
Yeah,
Like
Oh,
Jack
yeah.
in The Shining.
he does actually. And he comes in there. There's this whole big fight between him and the Ghoulies.
And by that, basically, he pulls out the glue gun and he empties the clip right in their faces.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Ghoulies' weakness is glue.
That part was pretty horny.
It was actually.
No lie.
He held it crotch level as he shot white liquid all
And
over
just
a
like
bunch of
Sticky
ghoulies.
and just
white liquid
glazed
all
those
over.
ghoulies' faces.
Yeah.
Like, Molly approves. She's like, that was sufficiently horny. That was arguably the horniest scene in this
Scene in the movie,
is
yeah.
watching 3 ghoulies take a facial from his glue dick.
And they do this whole thing where like this chandelier is gonna fall on her, and he has to save her. He gets her out of that table. That chandelier falls with the lightest thud.
It
wouldn't
bounced.
have, it wouldn't have even done damage. She could have
No.
just put her hands up and blocked it.
But then Skip grabs the comic and commands that the ghoulies get Ragnar.
Yeah, and then they do. They kill him.
And electricity starts flowing around everybody while they run out of the room real quick.
It's a really Empire Strikes Back type of scenario at
There's
this
like
point.
a quickening happening.
Yeah, it's like no, and all that stuff.
And they come by and see what's going on, and Ragnar is now just a pile of goo.
Yeah,
In some clothes, like you turn the lights on Howie Mandel.
yeah. It's very, very disgusting.
Yeah. And as they're tending to each other, our protagonists, I mean, we pan back, and that pile of goo has a hand slowly start to come up out of it.
Oh God.
Something's happening here. The T-1000's reforming.
Yeah, and basically they go back to not their frat house. They go back to Powder's frat house for some reason, and they're just hanging out in there because Powder then comes home and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing in my house?"
And he grabs a bat, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but then
The door explodes.
yeah,
And that takes out Powder.
yeah,
Like, it knocks him unconscious.
and oh my God,
And
well,
They look pretty cool.
it's the
This was
warden from
good.
Riccio.
yeah, it really is.
It looks very Riccio.
It's neat.
So yeah, we have Ghoulie Dean.
Dean Ghoulie.
Dean Ghoulie is now like 8 feet tall. He's wearing the prank crown. He has a face in his midsection.
Yeah, like the Evil Dead
That, like-
tree. Evil
Yeah,
Dead
yeah, yeah.
2.
And
Totally.
it moves with his own face while he speaks.
Right, and has kind of a reverb effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it repeats what he says.
Yeah.
He's like a video game end boss. Like
Yeah.
he's mutated.
And this is great. Like, Kevin McCarthy is just chewing this shit up. Like, he's enjoying this way too much. And they basically run to the only place they know, the only other scene in this house, the bathroom.
Wes's room.
Yeah. So they go to the bathroom, and Kevin McCarthy just breaks down the door on them, which then we realize, no, they're actually in their own frat.
It's all the same.
So, did they all
There's
share
no
a house?
logic to that. I think every character in this is living in the same house.
They must be.
But yeah, we're we hold up the comic book and try to command him, and he laughs it off and goes like, "The book cannot harm me. I am the book."
And the thing repeats every line he says.
I am the book. It's like, shut up down there. Shut up down there. And so what do? But we take that book and we flush it down the goddamn toilet.
Yeah.
We put it in the magic toilet.
And you could tell right here, Kevin McCarthy's like, look, I'll do the puppet shit, but I ain't going down that toilet.
Yeah.
Like, I'll maybe do a little bit. Because there is a part where he does go down the toilet. I think we see his head popping out at one point.
Yeah, we get one shot of his head because when the comic gets flushed, he gets yanked into the toilet too.
Yeah.
Like, physically yanked.
And we just get
Not
one...
the other kind of yank.
Yeah, yeah. We get just like one very brief shot of his head sticking out of the toilet.
And this
that
looks
was gonna
very
be it.
street trash.
Yeah, yeah. Very
Like the
much so.
cover art from Street Trash where the homeless guy's getting melted into the toilet.
Yeah.
It's gross. And then after he finally goes down, fire comes up out of the bowl.
Yeah. Which was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now we're taking a second to mourn Wes and Veronica, the two casualties.
Well,
of
yeah,
this
that's
movie.
funny. He goes, man, wonder where Wes went. Wonder where
Yeah.
Pauly Shore went. And she was like, yeah, I wonder where Veronica went.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And at one point, Aaron goes, well, at least they're together.
Wherever they are.
I'm like,
Yeah, in like a
In-
septic tank.
In Ghoulie. Yeah. They're together in Ghoulie toilet hell.
yeah. Okay.
And then that's when Barkus crashes through the front door.
Yeah,
We gotta wrap up everything.
literally crashes his cart through the front door.
But we rat on Jeremy for the bomb that blew up Barkus earlier.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, he's the mad bomber
So
guy.
he's going to the Riccio prison now.
Yep. And so Barkus hauls him off.
And that's, I mean, this is basically it.
And that's
right?
when the BZTs come back. They
Oh,
come
yeah.
stumbling in, and they're like, you missed it, man. We won the prank crown. We did it.
Yeah, and they give him the crown.
Like,
Oh, no, they can't give him the crown.
How'd you get the crown? Because he's holding it after killing Ghoulie Dean. And he goes, guys, you'd never believe me anyway. And then, Skip dons the prank crown, accepting his rightful role as King Frat.
And College Coulier and Mookie make out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
everybody, and
they
and
get in
Aaron,
their car and fly into the sky.
Yeah.
Aaron suddenly is like cool with everything.
Yeah.
She's queen frat.
Yeah.
They've got everything. Everyone's
I think
back
they all
together.
say, well, thank God there will never be another Ghoulies movie.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no reason for another Ghoulies. And they yell, let's party! And like the music kicks up. We're all dancing. The Ewoks are celebrating. We've done it. And we cut back to the bathroom. And a Ghoulie arm comes up out of the toilet to crush a can of Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Finn.
So, guys, you recommend Ghoulies 3?
Depends on how horny you are or how horny you want to be.
So if you're not horny, you suggest watching it
Yeah,
if
to
you
get
want to
horny.
get horny.
Yeah, if you're
So-
horny and desperate,
If you're going to go on a big date.
You give it a half recommend?
I give it a half chub.
So if you're going to go on a big date, watch Ghoulies 3 before
Yeah,
it.
to
you
get
know,
ready.
Get ready.
Get you in the mood.
So
Yeah.
Molly recommends it strictly for foreplay.
Well,
Yeah.
this has got to be one of the best movies you've watched on the Grindbin, which
Definitely.
is really terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah, you've got a bad track record for the stuff you've
Yeah.
ended up on.
I know Bobby's going to be a no, but I'll just say before you go that mine is
Before I go.
is just you know, if you like these type of movies, you know what to expect. It is what it is. It's not bad for what it is. Like it's a stupid frat comedy with the Ghoulies in it. It's bad. It's terrible, but you know, it's like there are things that are worse that we've watched.
yeah.
Surely there's always
Like
something worse.
waterboarding is worse.
Yeah. The Zapruder film's worse. Like, there's plenty of films that are worse.
Maybe not.
That one's at least got more of a plot.
Got a history.
Yeah, but my problem is that these jokes are lame. These jokes are
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How dare
I
you.
wouldn't have a problem with a gross out frat comedy if anyone put in any effort at all.
Yeah.
The Ghoulies should not talk.
No, it's really
If they didn't talk, this movie would be way worse.
You think so?
if they were just
Oh, yeah.
oh, they did their thing.
Yeah. If there was no half chub joke.
That's true. The half chub did make it.
I think my biggest problem with this, the reason I can't give it a recommend, is it wasn't horny enough.
Wasn't
Fair
horny
enough.
enough. Yeah.
I needed it a little.
Needed more
hornier.
horny. I needed also that egg bacon face, man. Would have liked that.
I needed breakfast face.
yeah, breakfast
To show up. I needed that at the very end. I needed to find out
Mr.
that guy
Grand
was still
Slam.
alive. And
Mr. Grand Slam.
Mr.
There
Grand
you go.
Slam should have come in.
Do you guys hear that sound though? How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in the world of Ghoulies 3? I mean, I think we all know. I mean, obviously Bobby is enrolling into this university the next year.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like he for sure would bring the Ghoulies back with him.
This seems like a frat he'd be part of.
Oh yeah, but the problem is when he summons the Ghoulies, they go, "Yeah, he's too horny for us," and they just go back down the toilet. Like, no, can't do it. Too much horn for this room.
See, I think that the Ghoulies aren't the only thing that can be summoned through this magic toilet.
Oh no.
I think that there was
DeVito?
there was an unfortunate prank that happened to a young man named Sammy Johns. And when they yanked him with that lamp.
Oh no.
And that was the power. You see, that accident that happened is what summoned. You saw that toilet started to glow yellow this time. And up from it came DeVito.
A shitty DeVito.
Shitty DeVito came up out of it. And then you just saw the orange poof come up out of the toilet bowl for a second. Just poof. Yep. And he's like, it's finally a time, Bobby. And I think now that the Ghoulies are gone, that's the new problem that this college is facing.
Horny Bobby.
Horny. You need a hornier Ghoulie. You got one.
What do you think, Molly? Do you have any? No, she's shaking her head. No.
Turns out she does not.
Well, do you have anything you want to promote? Probably not.
No.
All right. Well, you can find us at grindhousefilm.com. We're at Twitter at GrindPod. You can join our Patreon for $2 a month and hear more episodes, bonus episodes. And yeah, you can just rate us 5 stars if you enjoyed the show and tell a friend. That would be great. So there you go. Spread it around.
Yay.
Yeah, I think that about covers it. I think it's time to flush this one down the toilet. Bobby, it's not horny enough.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I didn't say it, knocker. I don't know. This book ain't got no real rhythm.
Hello, Kitchen Man.